Hey there guys, this is Richard, your host, with another marvelous video. Greetings my comic book fans. I bet you all read and love both DC and Marvel comics. Their individual fandoms have existed since decades and have sometimes proved to be certified rivals of each other. But when has that ever stopped DC and Marvel from collaborating? DC and Marvel collaborated twice under the label Amalgam Comics in April 1996 and June 1997 to release a collective total of 24 one-shot first issues, with 12 issues from each company. In these issues, different characters from DC and Marvel were merged to create entirely new characters. Today, we'll dive into the Amalgam lore and learn about the top 100 Amalgam Universe characters. But before we begin, we have a small request. If you like our content, please subscribe to our channel. It's a small click from you, but to us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The brothers Yin and Yang and the history of Amalgam Universe. The brothers made their debut in Green Lantern Silver Surfer, Unholy Alliances issue number 1 in January 1995. It was written by Ron Marz and drawn by Darryl Banks. After aeons of dormancy, the physical embodiments of the DC and Marvel comic book universes, known as the Brothers, awakened and became aware of each other's existence. Red Brother Yin was Lord Marvel and Blue Brother Yang was Lord DC. They desired to be complete by making their own universe whole again. Fearing the potential destruction that could result from their clash, characters from each universe engaged in battles to determine the survival of their respective realms. Once the battles concluded, neither universe was willing to submit and get annihilated. In order to avert their total annihilation, the Spectre and the Living Tribunal joined forces to create a merged universe, wherein only Access and Dr. Strange Fate possessed knowledge of the true nature of the amalgamation. Access and Dr. Strange Fate found themselves pitted against each other with opposing motivations. Access sought to reverse the change and restore the separate universes, while Dr. Strange Fate fought to preserve the merged reality. In the Marvel Universe, the Amalgam Earth was designated as Earth 9602, and in the DC Omniverse, it's Earth 496. Although Access was able to restore the universes, the brothers fought inevitably. When they realized that their war was destroying reality itself and how low they'd stooped to feed their ego, they settled their battle appreciating each other's efforts and went into peace. However, the Amalgam Universe existed and the readers were introduced to an array of adventurous Amalgam characters. So, let's jump into the mix and get to know the Amalgams. Access. Axel Asher, one of the main characters of this universe, was actually an original character and not an amalgam. However, he was owned by both DC and Marvel. He made his first appearance in DC vs. Marvel, Marvel vs. DC, Consumer Preview issue number 1 in 1995. He was created by Ron Marz and Dan Jurgens. Axel, a regular teenager in New York, stumbled upon an old homeless man guarding what appeared to be a mere cardboard box in a dimly lit alleyway. The box, as it turned out, was not an ordinary container, but a portal connecting different universes. The old man revealed that Axel was the chosen successor to bear the incredible powers and immense responsibilities of the Access. He was the guardian tasked with preventing the convergence of the DC and Marvel universes into a single entity. Long ago, the universes were once united until a monumental battle between two powerful beings, known as the Brothers, shattered the unity. Fragments of the original universe persisted, and Access and the box were among them. Amidst the peak of the brothers' climactic battle, the Marvel Universe emerged triumphant with a record of 6 wins to 5. The Spectre and the Living Tribunal intervened to prevent the imminent destruction of existence by merging the universes into a singular entity called the Amalgam Universe. Nonetheless, Access, equipped with fragments concealed within Batman and Captain America, successfully accomplished the task of separating and restoring the two universes. Access possesses the ability to create interdimensional gateways, connecting the DC and Marvel universes. These gateways also enable travel through space and time, facilitating passage between universes at different temporal points. He can teleport himself and summon allies across these realms. When Access touches individuals from both universes, he can merge them, combining their traits to form an amalgam. He has an exceptional sensitivity, allowing him to detect the presence of people and objects existing in one universe while physically located in the other. Dr. Strange Fate. Charles Xavier, aka Dr. Strange Fate, aka the maker of Amalgam, is the Amalgam Universe version of DC's Dr. Fate, Marvel's Doctor Strange, and Professor X combined together. He made his first appearance in DC Marvel All Access Volume number 1, Issue 4. It was written by Ron Marz and drawn by Jackson Guice and was released in February 1997. Dr. Strange Fate was the most formidable entity and the creator of the Amalgam Universe. He was determined to prevent its destruction at any cost. When the separation of the two universes, Marvel and DC, occurred due to the separation of the two keys controlled by Access, Dr. Strangefate adamantly refused to let his created world be annihilated. In order to halt the separation, Strangefate enlisted the help of Jade Nova, Skulk, and White Witch. Despite their efforts, the separation still took place. It was later revealed that Strangefate survived and resided deep within the psyche of Doctor Strange. He manipulated Strange into initiating cross-dimensional incursions. Batman and Access eventually discovered Strangefate's actions and endeavored to halt his questionable agenda. In an attempt to restore the Amalgam universe, Strangefate merged the X-Men and the Justice League of America into a combined super team and dispatched them to defeat Access. However, Access managed to survive the attack and eventually overpowered and defeated Doctor Strangefate. To ensure that Strangefate would never again pose a threat to both worlds, Doctor Strange safeguarded the Amalgam universe within a pocket dimension, preserving its existence. He's got divine godlike psychic powers and is a grand telepath and telekinetic. He's got super sight to visualize what lies in the future. He's got reality manipulation powers and is able to create universes and merge individuals at his whim. He has phasing powers and the powers to possess individuals and make them do his bidding. Thanoside. Thanoside, aka the Dark Lord, is the Amalgam Universe version of DC's Darkseid and Marvel's Thanos combined together. He made his first appearance in Bullets and Bracelets issue number 1, Final Thrust. It was written by John Ostrander and drawn by Gary Frank and was released in April 1996. Thanoside was one of the two most perilous antagonists in the Amalgam Universe and reigned supreme over Apocalypse, a shadowy domain that was part of a twin realm. His objectives encompassed annihilation of all life, absolute authority, and to be one of the familiars of Lady Death. To achieve these aims, he actively pursued the ultimate anti-life nullifier. As per Highfather Odin, there were some indications that Thanoside possessed redeeming qualities. Thanoside expressed remorse over the demise of his son Orion, whom he seemingly personally eliminated, but in reality traded with all Highfather Odin to attain a truce. He abducted the child of Diana Prince and Trevor Castle, and utilized his powers to transport him back in time, raising him as his own son named Kanto. Thanoside devised a plan for Trevor to kill his own son, mirroring his own actions, but Diana intervened and thwarted the scheme. Furthermore, Thanoside orchestrated the events that precipitated the secret crisis of the Infinity Hour, which stood as the most monumental battle to transpire in the Amalgam universe. During this event, he, alongside Dr. Doomsday, endeavored to obliterate everything except Apocalypse, his dominion. He had the combined stamina of Darkseid and Thanos. Besides this obsession for Lady Death, he was also the master of Omega Effect. He was a psychic with super strength, telekinesis, and time-traveling abilities. He was highly intelligent, and above all, he was an immortal god. Kang, the Time Conqueror. Kang, the Time Conqueror, is the Amalgam Universe version of DC's Time Trapper and Marvel's Kang the Conqueror combined together. He made his first appearance in SpiderBoy Team-Up issue number 1, Too Many Heroes, Too Little Time. It was written by Roger Stern and drawn by Jose Ladron and was released in June 1997. Kang was the main antagonist behind SpiderBoy's abduction during his time travel using the Time Square. Kang teleported him to Limbo and wanted to break SpiderBoy apart into Spider-Man and Superboy and absorb their life force, which would help him to conquer the Omniverse. Both Spider-Man and Superboy were re-merged thanks to the arrival of SpiderBoy 2099 in another Time Square. Upon unmasking Kang, he lost all his powers and was revealed to be Kronos Tut, the Time Pharaoh, who looked and had all the mannerisms of Richard Nixon. The unmasking also caused a big explosion, seemingly killing Kang, and SpiderBoy 2019 escaped. Kang has divine powers, longevity, and a cosmic consciousness. He's got super strength and time manipulation and time travel capabilities. Thorion, aka the Hunter, aka the Celestial, is the Amalgam Universe version of DC's Orion and Marvel's Thor combined together. He was first unveiled in Marvel Vision number 16 and made his debut in Thorion of the New Asgards number 1. It was written by Keith Giffen and drawn by John Romita Jr. and was released in June 1997. He was the son of Thanoside. In order to attain a truce between Apocalypse and New Asgard, he was traded by Thanoside to All Highfather Odin in return of Lok Desard. He later became the protector of New Asgard. When Thorion saved some creatures enslaved by his half-brother Lok Desard, Lok planned to use the Mother Cube and its infinity essence to awaken the dormant entity named Surtur and the other celestial Promethean giants. This would initiate a second Ragnarok that would result in the ultimate destruction of everything. In the final fight, Thorion called upon the mighty power of the Source through his hammer to thwart Lok's nefarious desires. However, due to the immense energies unleashed during their clash, Thorion underwent a transformation and emerged as a cosmic entity known as the Celestial. Thorion is a warrior god and the wielder of the Astro Force that he's able to channel through his hammer. He's invulnerable. He's got super strength and stamina and ability to control weather. After becoming the Celestial, he's connected directly to the source and possesses unimaginable godlike power. SpiderBoy. SpiderBoy is the Amalgam universe version of DC Superboy and Pete Ross, and Marvel's Spider-Man combined together. He made his first appearance in SpiderBoy issue number 1, Big Trouble, in April 1996. It was written by Carl Kessel and drawn by Mike Wieringo. While working on a super soldier program in Cadmus, one of the researchers named Peter Parker donated his genes to create a clone of himself. However, Kenny Gargan, aka Scorpicon, created a lab explosion in which Peter died, but his clone survived and was released prematurely from his pod. He sported spider-like abilities. The general in charge, Thunderbolt Ross, took the clone boy in and named him Pete Ross. He called General Ross Uncle Jen, but like all other iterations, his Uncle Jen was shot and killed by a mugger. Pete swore to fight evil and stand up for the innocents, and donning a spider fashion costume, he took on the moniker of SpiderBoy. As a day job, he worked as a photographer for the newspaper Daily Bugle, where he submitted pictures of himself flirting with other female superheroes. SpiderBoy's main power is gravity manipulation of his own personal gravitational space. He's capable of pulling all the gravity inwards into his body and gaining super strength. He can even push gravity out of his body and make himself lighter and jump high or great distances. He can also push gravity sideways, which helps him to walk on the walls. He was given 2 pistols from Project Cadmus, which was termed as web shooters. They shot synthetic webs and entangled his adversaries, as well as helped him to swing from high-rise structures. He was even given a ring at one point which enabled him to fly. Dr. Doomsday. Victor Von Doom, aka Dr. Doomsday, aka Dr. Monster, is the Amalgam universe version of DC's Doomsday and Marvel's Doctor Doom combined together. He made his first appearance in SpiderBoy issue number 1, Big Trouble, in April 1996. It was written by Carl Kessel and drawn by Mike Wieringo. Victor used to be a member of a space program, along with Reed Prof Richards, Sue Ace Storm, Johnny Red Storm, and Ben Rocky Grimm. However, when the other 4 left for the space program with Victor to stay back and man their shuttle from Earth, Victor became insanely jealous. Out of sheer rage, he sabotaged the shuttle on its way back and caused it to crash to Earth. This crash gave Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben superpowers. Victor experimented on himself with the DNA of Doomsday, the Kryptonian killing machine, and turned into an indestructible monster with the unbeatable intelligence of a space scientist. He fled to the Balkan nation of Latkovia, and calling himself Dr. Doomsday, he became the dictator there. He was one of the most powerful villains in the universe and had worked with Thanos in certain instances. He was even dubbed as the evil incarnate by the heroes of this universe. Dr. Doomsday is an invulnerable, immortal, genius scientist and diplomat, as well as a monstrous killing machine. Every time he's killed, he comes back from the dead with the added immunity of what killed him before. He evolves from whatever external agents affect him, and his bony armor protects him from any physical damage. He has extreme physical strength, and his body can withstand any temperature. He possesses magical abilities, and is able to fire mystical energy blasts to stun or bind his adversaries. He can psionically extend his consciousness and take over any other living being with just eye contact. His genius-level intellect has helped him in all branches of science, which has helped him to create AI-driven replicas of himself known as Doombots, as well as a working time machine. Aquamariner. Arthur Mackenzie, aka the Aquamariner, is the amalgam of DC's Aquaman and Marvel's Namor the Submariner. He was created by Gerard Jones, Mark Waid, and Howard Porter. He made his first appearance in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. Prince Namor, the ruler of Atlantis, dedicated himself to safeguarding the oceans and searching for survivors after his undersea kingdom was destroyed. To accomplish this, he ventured to the surface and assumed the identity of Arthur Mackenzie. During World War II, Arthur joined forces with the Super Soldier and the All-Star Winner Squadron under the name Aquamariner. Due to his meta-mutant abilities, Aquamariner remained youthful in the 1990s and became a member of the Judgment League Avengers. However, when he was wrongly accused of causing the destruction of multiple oil tankers, only the meta-mutant members of the League believed in his innocence and departed from the group. Aquamariner and the meta-mutant members then established their own team called JLX. Aquamariner has superhuman strength. In one instance, he was able to save a sinking submarine and destroyed a Sentinel with one deadly strike. He was able to fight off Goliath alone. His underwater adaptation helps him to withstand tons of water pressure and temperatures of the deep sea. He's able to swim at extreme speed and is able to breathe in both air and water. He's able to fly thanks to the wings in his feet and is also able to communicate with sea creatures telepathically. He uses a chained anchor as a weapon whose one strike can take out even a sentinel. Dark Claw. Logan Wayne, aka Dark Claw, is the amalgam of DC's Batman and Marvel's Wolverine. He made his first appearance in Legends of the Dark Claw issue number 1 in April 1996. He was created by the duo Larry Hama and Jim Baylant. Logan was taken to live with his uncle in Alberta, Canada when he was 5 years old, after witnessing his parents' murder at the hands of an armed robber. His uncle was killed by poachers. He was sent to a home run by nuns of the RCMP. Growing up, he signed up for the Royal Canadian Air Force. Logan was submitted to the Canadian Super Soldier Weapon X program. Later, he had adamantium fused to his bones, and he also discovered his metamutant origins. The Weapon X program failed since Logan had conscience and compassion. Later, he traveled and trained himself and decided to avenge his parents' death. He presented himself as an irresponsible, shallow playboy artist who subsisted off the personal fortune of his family and the proceeds from the sales of his paintings. At night, he fought crime as Dark Claw. Logan has got a regenerative healing factor that heals him from any wound and makes him age slowly. He has immunity from all kinds of toxins. He has superhuman stamina and strength. His body is resistant to extreme weather conditions. He's got acute senses of an animal, and above all, he has a genius-level intellect, and he's a master strategist. Super Soldier. Super Soldier debuted in Marvel vs. DC issue number 3 in April 1996 and was created by Mark Waid and Dave Gibbons. He's the amalgam of DC Superman and Marvel's Captain America. During World War II, government scientists attempted to create a super soldier by administering a formula made of alien genes and solar radiation to a volunteer named Clark Kent. The mixture of the formula and radiation resulted in Clark obtaining extraordinary superpowers. Clark took up the moniker Super Soldier and became a part of the All-Star Winners Squadron and fought Nazis. He wore the costume of Captain America while carrying Superman's S-shield in combat. He was romantically interested in Lois Lane, who was later coerced into a marriage with the evil scientist Lex Luthor. Super Soldier and his allies fought against Baron Zero, a member of the Nazi organization Hydra, who was working for Lex. In 1942, Super Soldier almost single-handedly won the war until he was defeated by Ultra Metallo, a robot powered by kryptonite and sent by Lex. 50 years later, the Justice League discovered Super Soldier's frozen body, and he came back and joined the team as their leader, while working as Clark Kent at the Daily Planet. Super Soldier has superhuman strength, invulnerability, agility, X-ray and heat vision, and a regenerative healing factor. Exposure to sunlight boosts his powers more. Together with that, he's a trained combatant and a soldier and tactical analyst. Skulk. Dr. Bruce Banner, aka the Skulk, is the amalgam of DC's Solomon Grundy and Marvel's Hulk. He made his first appearance in Doctor Strange Fate issue number 1, The Decrees of Fate. It was written by Ron Mars and drawn by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez and Kevin Nowlan, and was released in April 1996. Engaged in gamma-ray research, scientist Bruce Banner conducted a test of his gamma bomb in the desert. Unexpectedly, a towering figure emerged within the testing zone. Intrigued, Banner approached the individual, only to discover that it was Solomon Grundy. As the bomb detonated, Grundy and Banner became fused together. This amalgamation resulted in Banner transforming into Grundy whenever his anger flared, and the hybrid entity adopted the moniker Skulk, carving out a name for himself. Skulk worked for Doctor Strange Fate in return for Strange Fate's magic, which helped Skulk to turn back into Bruce Banner. He once went on a mission from Doctor Strange Fate to capture Access. Skulk is an invulnerable being with superhuman stamina and strength. He's an unstoppable force when he succumbs to his feral rage. He's got self-healing abilities and can heal from any attack. Since Skulk is a zombie, he's basically immortal and can't be killed. His speech pattern resembles that of the Hulk. Iron Lantern. Harold Hal Stark, aka Iron Lantern, aka the Emerald Knight, is the amalgam of DC's Green Lantern Hal Jordan and Marvel's Iron Man. He made his debut in Iron Lantern issue number 1, Showdown at Stark Aircraft. It was written by Kurt Busiek and drawn by Paul Smith, and it came out in June 1997. Hal Stark, a wealthy millionaire and the founder of Stark Aircraft, was engaged in the development of a stationary flight simulator when it activated and took off with Stark inside. To his astonishment, he realized that the simulator was mysteriously drawn toward a crashed alien spacecraft, eventually crashing a short distance away from it. Stark suffered severe injuries from metal fragments embedded in his chest. Despite his critical condition, Stark investigated the alien vessel where he encountered Roman Sur, a dying extraterrestrial. Sadly, Roman perished before having a chance to communicate with Stark. Realizing his own mortality, Stark used his final moments to construct an advanced suit of armor using the alien technology, powered by a peculiar lantern-like battery discovered amidst the wreckage. This suit not only sustained his life, but also granted him extraordinary abilities, allowing him to manifest various objects using a potent green energy harnessed from the Oa, the living planet-powered battery. Equipped with his newfound powers, he vanquished the aliens responsible for shooting down Roman Sur's spacecraft. Adopting the mantle of the Iron Lantern, Hal Stark embarked on a heroic journey, confronting formidable adversaries. Iron Lantern is able to generate any weapon, shape, or object with the hard green light that his armor emits. He possesses superhuman strength and durability thanks to the armor. The armor itself is fitted with weapons and accessories like jet skates in his boots, a uni-beam projector in his chest, a cybernetic interface fitted in his helmet, ultra-freon generator, sonic blasters, and magnetic field manipulators in his gloves. It can generate force fields and is water and radiation proof. Galaxiac. Galan Dox, aka Galaxiac, is an amalgam of DC's Brainiac and Marvel's Galactus. He made his debut in Challenges of the Fantastic issue number 1 in June 1997. It was written by Carl Kessel and drawn by Tom Grummett. He originated from the planet Kolutar. He embodies the perfect fusion of intellect and technology. Journeying through the cosmos, he replenishes his energy cells by draining the energy of the planets and eating them. Additionally, he preserves a fragment from every annihilated planet to facilitate future experimentation and analysis. He tried to do the same with the Amalgam Earth and attacked New York City. However, he was stopped by the combined forces of Challenges of the Fantastic and Silver Racer. Galaxiac's powers are near limitless. He's a telepath and a telekinetic. He's got cosmic awareness and strength. All forms of energy dance to his whim. He's able to fly and create force fields to save himself from any attack. He can do earth manipulation and turn an entire planet into his weapon. He can even alter any being at the genetic level. He's an invulnerable planet eater and a scientific genius who's able to manipulate reality. Uatu The Guardian. Uatu The Guardian is an amalgam of a Guardian of the Universe from DC's Green Lantern lore and Marvel's Uatu the Watcher. He made his first appearance in Speed Demon issue number 1, Demon's Night, in April 1996. It was written by Howard Mackie and James Felder and drawn by Salvador LaRocca and Al Milgrom. Uatu the Guardian established the Starbrand Corps, an assemblage of heroes from across galaxies. Regrettably, with time, Uatu gradually succumbed to malevolence, concluding that the only way to usher in a new universe is by annihilating the Starbrand Corps. Uatu later framed Hal Jordan for the murder of Sinestro, a fellow member of the Starbrand Corps. While the Corps tirelessly pursued Hal, Uatu systematically eliminated the remaining members until only Hal remained. However, in his attempt to eliminate Hal, he was confronted by the Speed Demon, who obliterated him for his crimes. Miraculously, Uatu survived and later asserted that he'd regained his sanity. Uatu broke his vow of non-interference by warning the Challenges of the Fantastic about the impending arrival of Galaxiac on Earth. To accomplish that, Uatu employed Johnny Red Storm's Stormtrooper clone, controlled by Johnny's own mind, and infiltrated Galaxiac from within. Ultimately, the combined efforts from the inside led to the defeat of Galaxiac. Uatu is an immortal entity who can't be destroyed or killed. He's omnilingual with cosmic powers at his disposal. He's also a telepath with super sight and super intellect. The Knight Specter. The Knight Specter is an amalgam of DC Spectre and Marvel's Nightmare. He made his first appearance in Speed Demon issue number 1, Demon's Night, in April 1996. It was written by Howard Mackie and James Felder and drawn by Salvador LaRocca and Al Milgrom. He resides in the Sanctum of Lost Souls and is an antagonist in the Amalgam universe. His objective revolved around acquiring the Souls of Power, a collection composed mostly of virtuous or corrupt souls on Earth. By amassing all these souls, he aimed to gain control over the realms of Hell, Heaven, and Earth. Among those souls, one belonged to the wife of Blaze Allen, whom he tragically snatched away on their wedding day. This incident compelled Blaze to transform into the Speed Demon, dedicating himself to confronting the Knight Specter. The Knight Specter managed to collect all the souls except one, specifically the two-faced Goblin soul. Eventually, the Knight Specter succeeded in separating the demon from Blaze. However, Kid Demon intervened and merged with a different demon to rescue his uncle Blaze. United, they vanquished the Knight Specter and liberated all the captive souls. The Knight Specter is a demon himself, so he's able to possess any living being. He's an eater of souls and is rejuvenated with power whenever he feeds on a lost soul. He's able to extract life forces from any living being and imbue himself with it. He's able to project his soul astrally and manipulate darkness by taking control of the dark force. He's a master of magic and a great psychic. He's also a telepath and is immortal. Night Creeper. Kurt Jack Ryder, aka the Night Creeper, is the amalgam of DC's Creeper and Marvel's Nightcrawler. He made his first appearance in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. He's a meta-mutant with green fur, whose parentage and early life are quite mysterious. As far as the rumors travel in the Amalgam universe, Botanique may have been his biological mother. He briefly worked as a circus acrobat, but his appearance and scent caused him to be expelled from the troupe, deemed too freakish. Following reports of an anomalous creature residing in the wild, the New Blood faction of the Judgment League Avengers embarked on a venture to New Jersey. Much to their astonishment, they found the enigmatic being they sought to be none other than Kurt Ryder, who had now assumed the identity of Jack, embracing the persona of Night Creeper. He joined the ranks of the New Blood, aligning himself with the Judgment League Avengers. He was one of the founding members of the JLX team. Night Creeper is primarily a teleporter. He's able to jump short distances and leaves behind the color of sulfur on each jump. He can scream sonic blasts and has super hearing, super sight, and super smell. He's adept in sword fighting and is able to cling to walls and is a master in stealth and camouflage. Locke Desard. Locke Desard is the amalgam of DC's Desard and Marvel's Loki. He first appeared in Thorion of the New Asgards issue number 1, Thorion the Hunter, in June 1997. The issue was written by Keith Giffen and drawn by John Romita Jr. When he was a child, he was exchanged with Thorion by All-Highfather Odin and Thanoside in order to initiate a truce between Apocalypse and New Asgard. He was a half-brother to Thorion the Hunter. When Thorion rescued enslaved creatures under the control of Locke, Locke devised a scheme to utilize the Mother Cube and its Infinity Essence in order to awaken the dormant entity known as Surtur, along with the rest of the celestial Promethean giants. His plan aimed to trigger a second Ragnarok, leading to the complete annihilation of everything. During the climactic battle, Thorion utilized his hammer to summon the formidable power of the Source, effectively foiling Locke's malicious intentions and defeating him. Locke Desard is an immoral new god and mainly relies on his magical powers. He can release magical plasma blasts from his hands to stun his adversaries. He's got many weapons and gadgets at his disposal that he uses in any battle. Silver Racer. William Lincoln, aka Silver Racer, is the amalgam of DC's Black Racer and Marvel's Silver Surfer. He made his first appearance in SpiderBoy Team Up, issue number 1, Too Many Heroes, Too Little Time. It was written by Roger Stern and drawn by Jose Ladron and was released in June 1997. The character was created by Joe Rosas, Tom Grummett, Alvey, Glenn Greenberg, and Carl Kessel. He used to be a herald to Galaxia. He was the Asgardian avatar of death, and his sole purpose was to collect the souls of the dead. His actions designated him as the Amalgam Universe's Grim Reaper. He was an Asgard and traveled the stars in search of collecting souls from the dead without any interference. When Galaxia attacked Earth, the Silver Racer was persuaded by the June Masters to help the heroes of Earth defeat Galaxia. Galaxia was later stopped thanks to the Racer's help. Racer is an immortal Asgard who soars through the stars in his silver ski, propelled by cosmic Asgardian powers. His every touch is a death bringer. He possesses super strength, super sight, and super speed. He's also able to absorb and manipulate energy. Amazon. Aurora Monroe, aka Amazon, is the amalgam of DC's Wonder Woman and Marvel's Storm. She made her first appearance in DC Marvel All Access Volume 1, issue number 4. It was written by Ron Mars and drawn by Jackson Geiss and was released in February 1997. She was saved by Queen Hippolyta of the Amazons from a shipwreck that was devised by Poseidon. Aurora's parents died in the wreck, but she survived. Raised alongside Hippolyta's own daughter Diana, Aurora grew up as an Amazon princess on Themyscira. As Aurora matured, her ability to manipulate weather emerged, and the Amazons taught her to concentrate her powers into a lightning lasso capable of compelling truth from its captives. Eventually, she left her island sanctuary to venture into the world of men as an Amazon, utilizing her abilities to aid others. Throughout the years, Amazon continued her crusade for justice while concealing her metamutant identity. She joined the JLX. She eventually assumed leadership when Aquamariner departed to unite with his fellow Atlanteans. During the secret crisis of the Infinity Hour, she also participated in the decisive battle. She eventually met Poseidon and made him realize that Poseidon had sunk their ship as he thought her father's friend Professor Malcolm had stolen from the gods, but instead it was a way to ensure that gods were remembered by mortals. With Poseidon regretting his heinous act, Amazon prayed for the peace of the souls departed. Amazon's meta-mutant powers make her capable of controlling weather. She has accelerated healing and is able to fly. She wields the lightning lasso, which is basically an extension of her powers, and it forces the one bound by it to tell the truth. Together with that, she possesses a danger sense that makes her aware of any upcoming threat. Speed Demon. Blaze Allen, aka Speed Demon, is an amalgam of DC's Etrigan the Demon, The Flash, and Marvel's Ghost Rider. He made his first appearance in Speed Demon issue number 1, Demon's Night, in April 1996. It was written by Howard Mackie and James Felder and drawn by Salvador LaRocca and Al Milgrom. Jay Garrick used to be the first Speed Demon and was bound by the demon Etrigan. During his old age, he faced off against his arch-enemy, the Knight Specter. Jay was killed in the battle when Etrigan left his body. Blaze Allen was a stunt motorcycle rider at Quentin Carnival and also a mystic. He was approached by the Knight Specter, who demanded his soul, but he denied and escaped. The Knight Specter attacked him on his wedding day and coveted the soul of Blaze's wife, Iris. Heartbroken and obsessed, Blaze took to magic and was contacted by the wizard Merlin. Merlin revealed that only one demon, Etrigan, possessed the power to destroy the Knight Specter. He summoned Etrigan by chanting, "Gone, gone from the man, rise the demon Etrigan," and merged with him and became the new Speed Demon. He eventually defeated the Knight Specter with the help of his nephew, Kid Demon. Speed Demon is a speedster who can run at light speed and also the wielder of Hellfire. He can shoot Hellfire blasts from hands and mouth at his adversaries in order to subdue them. He's one of the top necromancers in the Amalgam universe and can sense death before its arrival. He also possesses the Penance Stare, with which he can see all the torment that the guilty has inflicted on the innocents and then turn them back on the guilty. He's got super strength and stamina of the demon Etrigan and is invulnerable in his Speed Demon form. Mr. X. Jean Jeans, aka Marco Xavier, aka Mr. X, is the amalgam of DC's Martian Manhunter and Marvel's Professor X. He made his first appearance in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. Mr. X, a Skrull meta-mutant who willingly joined forces with the JLX to aid their quest for Atlantis, as he believed that there may be Homo superiors like him in Atlantis. He was the last survivor of the Skrull race from his planet, Mars. His motivation stemmed from a desire to safeguard mutants who face widespread prejudice in society. So, a band of meta-mutants left the Judgment League Avengers to join him in JLX. Utilizing his psychic prowess, Mr. X guided the JLX during their conflicts, forming a special bond with Aquamariner along the way. Mr. X has super strength and stamina. He's been witnessed fighting hand-to-hand with his adversaries, as well as lifting heavy structures. He's also able to fly and is a telepath and a shapeshifter. He's extremely rich and is the sole benefactor of JLX. Sinestron. Sinestron is the amalgam of DC's Persimmon and Marvel's Mr. Sinister. He debuted in Magneto and the Magnetic Men, issue number 1, Opposites Attract, in April 1996. It was written by Gerard Jones and drawn by Jeff Matsuda. Sinestron, the ultimate sentinel, was conceived and brought into existence by the brilliant mind of Will Magnus. Programmed to eradicate any perceived threats, Sinestron's synthetic intelligence carried with it the profound animosity that Magnus had for his brother, Magneto. Sinestron commenced a campaign against mutants, harnessing their minds within his fortified stronghold located in Genosha. Magneto, determined to disable Sinestron's electric consciousness, unleashed a formidable electromagnetic assault, only to find himself ensnared in a paralyzing grip when Sinestron skillfully reversed his attack on the Magnetic Men. The Magnetic Men broke from Magneto's control, empowering them to mount a vigorous counter-offensive against Sinestron, effectively shattering his hold over their master. In an unwavering assault, Magneto ultimately annihilated Sinestron's physical embodiment, yet the cunning sentient entity managed to elude capture by transferring its consciousness into a drone, thus ensuring its survival and leaving its fate uncertain. Sinestron possesses enhanced strength, durability, and flight. He holds an array of offensive weapons such as concussion blasters, radiation emitters, and the formidable encephalo ray, capable of inducing a death-like coma in its victims. Through this ray, Sinestron can exert direct control over others' minds, implanting subliminal hypnotic commands for future activation. Encased in an adamantium shell, Sinestron's outer form is virtually impervious to harm. Additionally, Sinestron boasts features like tractor beams and the ability to absorb energy. He also incorporates a program transmitter, enabling the transferring of its programming to remote locations or alternate robotic bodies, and also able to manipulate and control other machines. Mercury. Pietro Allen, aka Mercury, is the amalgam of DC's Impulse and Marvel's Quicksilver. He made his first appearance in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. He was born in an alternate future where powerful robots called Sentinels hunted people like him with special abilities. When he was a teenager, he discovered he could travel through time and went back to the past when the Judgment League Avengers were looking for new members. With the help of Apollo, Firebird and Runaway, Pietro escaped from the Sentinels and took on the moniker of Mercury, joining the JLA. Later, when Will Magnus wrongly accused the Aquamariner of causing damage, Mercury and his friends joined forces with Mr. X to create the JLX team. When Magnus started a government-sanctioned hunt for people with special abilities, called the Armageddon Agenda, Mercury managed to escape with the help of a mysterious being called Iriskani. He returned to his future and avoided being caught by the Judgment League Avengers. Mercury didn't come back to the JLX when they formed a new team to fight against Fen Fang Flame, led by Amazon. Mercury is a speedster who's able to run at light speed and can break the time barrier to travel to the past or the future, even in alternate timelines. He possesses super strength and also has inertia absorption powers. Bizarnage. Bizarnage is the amalgam of DC's Bizarro and Marvel's Carnage. He made his first appearance in SpiderBoy issue number 1, Big Trouble, in April 1996. It was written by Carl Kessel and drawn by Mike Wieringo. When Project Cadmus attempted to synthetically replicate alien DNA, they gave birth to this white murderous symbiote. It had a Down syndrome like Bizarro, but was every bit as dangerous as Carnage. It wanted to use SpiderBoy as its host and become him. However, it got highly annoyed as SpiderBoy kept dodging his attacks. He jumped on director Harper from Cadmus instead, as he thought he would become the big boss of Cadmus on having a symbiosis with Harper. SpiderBoy then tricked Bizarnage into attacking himself and locked him up in an energy containment cell. Bizarnage is a symbiote that latches onto any living being and makes them its host. It siphons the life force out of its host and slowly brings the host under total control, as it makes the host its own extension. It can change its body into any shape and create sharp or heavy weapons out of it to fight its adversaries. It can also manipulate its size to become enormous during a fight, or may shred into pieces and flee in time of any lethal threat. Kid Demon. Wally West, aka Kid Demon, is the amalgam of DC's Kid Flash and Marvel's Ghost Rider 2. He debuted in Speed Demon issue number 1, Demon's Night, in April 1996, with story by Howard Mackie and James Felder and art by Salvador LaRocca and Al Milgram. Wally West, the nephew of Blaze Allen, the second Speed Demon, worked with him at the Quentin Carnival. One night, when he discovered his uncle's secret, Blaze explained to him that he was at war with the Knight Specter and must stop him from winning the Soul Race. Later, Merlin visited Wally and revealed that it was Blaze's arcane practices that called forth the Knight Specter. The Knight Specter asked for his soul and services, but Blaze refused, and now they were at war. Merlin merged Wally's soul to another Speed Demon and sent him to help Blaze. Wally emerged at the Sanctum of Lost Souls as Kid Demon, where the Knight Specter had taken over the mind and body of Green Goblin and had already separated Blaze from Etrigan. Kid Demon helped Blaze defeat the Green Goblin and free the souls that he held at the Sanctum. While it's still unclear which demon was bonded to Wally, it was another Speed Demon that gave Wally powers similar to Blaze. He can summon a flaming motorcycle that can travel at hypersonic super speed. He's able to manipulate hellfire, which he could direct at his adversaries. He also wields the Penance Stare and uses a chain as his weapon. Hyena. Hyena is the amalgam of DC's Joker and Harley Quinn and Marvel's Sabretooth. He made his debut in Legends of the Dark Claw issue number 1, Through a Glass Darkly, in April 1996. The issue was written by Larry Hama and drawn by Jim Baylant. Creed H. Quinn served in the Royal Canadian Air Force along with Logan Wayne. When the Canadian government launched Project Weapon X, Creed and Logan were among the individuals considered for testing, alongside 4 other volunteers. Out of all the participants, only Creed and Logan managed to survive the experimental procedures. Creed, who later adopted the name Hyena, underwent a transformation into a deranged killing machine. Later, Hyena and Dark Claw became arch-enemies, locked in a fierce rivalry. Hyena is a madman and a feral killing machine. He has super strength and stamina much akin to his Marvel counterpart Sabretooth. He has the tracking abilities of an animal with extremely heightened senses like super hearing and super smell. He constantly keeps cracking jokes in order to mock Dark Claw, just like the Joker. He's able to move at high speed and is extremely athletic. He's got claw-like implants that he uses to fight his adversaries. He's devoid of all human compassions, and that's what makes him unstoppable. Shatter Starfire. Shatter Starfire is the amalgam of DC's Starfire and Marvel's Shatterstar. She made her debut in X-Patrol issue number 1, Doomed, in April 1996. This This issue was written by Carl Kessel and Barbara Randall Kessel and drawn by Roger Cruz. Shatter Starfire, aka Princess Coriandru, hailed from the subatomic planet Tamojuran. She had no knowledge of the existence of other universes until SpiderBoy unexpectedly appeared from the sky, rescuing her from an enemy ambush. In order to save her life, SpiderBoy brought Shatterstar to Earth, an action she never fully forgave him for. She faced formidable adversaries such as Dr. Doomsday during the X-Patrol's invasion of Latkovia, as well as Brother Brood, who nearly wiped out the X-Patrol at one point. Alongside her remarkable abilities, Shatter Starfire possessed exceptional beauty, which caught the attention of Beastling when the X-Patrol was formed. Initially, she displayed a rude demeanor towards her fellow team members, but over time, her desire to return to Tamojuran was overshadowed by her commitment to the X-Patrol. Shatter Starfire's alien physiology absorbs ultraviolet radiation, granting flight and the ability to unleash devastating star bolts. Contact with others enables language assimilation. She possesses superhuman strength, senses, speed, reflexes, agility, dexterity, coordination, balance, and endurance. She's a skilled strategist and excels in martial arts, specializing in swordsmanship. Hollow bones make her lightweight, enhancing athleticism and acrobatics. She's normally armed with 2 swords but carries other weapons too. Notably, she rapidly regenerates damaged tissue, healing slashes and stabbings within hours, surpassing human capabilities. The Wraith. Todd LeBeau, aka The Wraith, is the amalgam of DC's Obsidian and Marvel's Gambit. He made his first appearance in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. The issue was written by Mark Waid and drawn by Howard Porter. Separated at birth, Todd LeBeau and his twin sister Jenny, who later became the Jade Enchantress, embarked on separate paths. Todd found himself in New Orleans while Jenny grew up in New Asgard. A chance encounter at a New Orleans bar introduced Todd to a set of magical playing cards that awakened his meta-mutant abilities. Assuming the moniker Wraith, he joined the Shadow Guild, harnessing his newfound powers. Wraith was among the initial recruits for the new Blood group within the Judgment League Avengers, alongside Apollo and Firebird. Wraith formed a romantic bond with his teammate Runaway, but he grew concerned that her power absorption capabilities were gradually assimilating his dark side, fearing it would corrupt her over time. The team, including Wraith, became separated from the JLA when the Aquamariner was framed by Will Magnus, causing the JLA to wrongly believe the Mariner was responsible for the destruction of Roxxon oil tankers. Wraith wields shadow-based powers, seamlessly merging with his own shadow or manipulating the shadows of others. His shadow form grants him increased strength, phasing abilities, and flight. Utilizing dark energy manipulation, Wraith charges objects to trigger controlled detonations. He's proficient in martial arts, particularly Savate, and wields a telescopic metal staff. With superhuman agility and athleticism, Wraith excels in combat. He also possesses the ability to subtly hypnotize individuals, adding to his formidable skill set. Fen Fang Flame. Fen Fang Flame is the amalgam of DC's Brimstone and Marvel's Fen Fang Foom. He made his first appearance in JLX Unleashed issue number 1, The Unextinguishable Flame, in June 1997. The issue was written by Christopher Priest and drawn by Oscar Jimenez. Fen Fang Flame was a monstrous fire dragon set free in the Amalgam Earth by the Hellfire League of Injustice. In order to create him in the Hellfire Pier, the League burned the finger of Genghis Khan so that the monster was ruthless, the tusk of Kredguth, scourge of Talos IV so that the warrior has strength and power, the flame of cessation so that the champion may deliver death, and a personality enhancer. The combination of all these gave birth to this ultimate evil. Fen Fang obliterated the Hellfire League and set off in his course to destroy all meta-mutants. He attacked Super Soldier. Amazon and Mr. X gathered JLX and stood against him. Finally, Mr. X contacted Apollo, and with his solar radiation absorption powers, drew out the power from Fang and obliterated him. Fen Fang is a fire-breathing dragon whose main power is breathing out blasts of hellfire to burn his adversaries to ashes. Being a dragon, he has super strength and stamina. Deadeye. Bill Lawton, aka Deadeye, is the amalgam of DC's Deadshot and Marvel's Bullseye. He made his first appearance in Assassins issue number 1, Political Suicide, in April 1996. It was written by Dan Chichester and drawn by Scott McDaniel. Very little is known about Deadeye's origin. He's the ultimate marksman and assassin of the Amalgam universe. Notorious for his deadly accuracy, Deadeye infamously shot Dare, leaving her partially blinded. However, Dare sought vengeance and struck back, fatally stabbing Deadeye in the back, ending his life. Being the ultimate marksman, Deadeye has never missed a shot. He's a master of weapons and carries an arsenal with himself that includes guns mainly. He wears a helmet with a telescope fitted in the right eye, just like his DC Comics counterpart, Deadshot. The gauntlet on his wrists has 2 tri-barreled guns fitted to it, which he uses to kill his targets. He's got gadgets fitted into his costume that helps him to fight his adversaries. He's viciously athletic and agile, and also a master tracker. Lethal. Sergei Minerva, aka Lethal, is the amalgam of DC's Cheetah and Marvel's Kraven, the Hunter. He made his first appearance in Assassins issue number 1, Political Suicide, in April 1996. Driven by the obsession to attain unmatched hunting prowess, Sergei Minerva delved into an ancient ritual that forever altered his physical form, morphing him into a formidable human-cheetah hybrid. Adopting the name Lethal, Sergei harnessed his newfound abilities to track down and target unsuspecting superheroes. The enigmatic Big Question, aware of Lethal's lethal skills, saw an opportunity to employ his services in eliminating Dare the Terminator and Cat's Eye. Tasked with the mission, Lethal set out to fulfill his contract, intent on capturing or eliminating his elusive targets. However, fate took an unexpected turn. Dare the Terminator and Cat's Eye, equipped with their own formidable combat prowess and resourcefulness, swiftly turned the tables on Lethal. In a climactic showdown, the 2 assassins skillfully outmaneuvered Lethal, seizing the opportunity to end his life instead. And the Hunter became the hunted instead. Lethal is partly human and partly animal, and a whole predator. He sports super speed, super strength, super hearing, sight, and smell. He's almost unstoppable in his feral form. He's a creature of stealth and can track his prey from long distances without being noticed. The Abominite. The Abominite is the amalgam of DC's Hellgramite and Marvel's Abomination. He made his first appearance in Doctor Strange Fate issue number 1, The Decrees of Fate, in April 1996. In the depths of the dark sewers of New Gotham, a terrifying creature known as Abominite, dwelled. It resembled a creepy insect, with its large body and elongated tail. Abominite was fiercely aggressive toward anyone who dared to trespass into its territory. The creature's instinctual drive was to protect its underground home at all costs. With its razor-sharp claws and formidable strength, Abominite easily overpowered intruders, leaving them defeated. The mere knowledge of Abominite's existence instilled fear in the hearts of those who heard of it, serving as a stark warning to steer clear of its treacherous domain. Within the intricate labyrinth of the sewer system, Abominite held undisputed dominance, ruling its grim world with an iron fist, showing no mercy to those unfortunate enough to cross its path. Although its origins remain shrouded in mystery, Abominite once ambushed access within the Gotham sewers. However, before the creature could deliver a fatal blow, Access teleported to escape its clutches. Abominite possesses an array of formidable powers. Its monstrous form is fueled by berserker strength, unleashing devastating force in battle. Through chemical secretion, it can produce potent substances to enhance its lethal attacks. It has regenerative abilities and can swiftly heal wounds sustained in combat. Its invulnerability shields it from harm, rendering any attack ineffective. With extraordinary stamina, Abominite endures prolonged battles without exhaustion. Combined with its super strength, it delivers crushing blows, overpowering foes with unyielding determination. The White Witch. Wanda Zatara, aka the White Witch, is the amalgam of DC's Zatanna and Marvel's Scarlet Witch. She made her first appearance in Doctor Strange Fate, issue number 1, The Decrees of Fate. The White Witch served as one of Doctor Strange Fate's devoted acolytes, utilizing a potent blend of enchantment and seduction to ensnare countless men. As one of Strange Fate's most trusted allies, her mission was to capture Access, a task she achieved effortlessly by simply kissing him and lulling him into sleep. While her origins remain shrouded in mystery, it's evident that her magical abilities stem from the Hex within this universe. Interestingly, the White Witch harbored a romantic infatuation for Doctor Strange Fate, frequently making advances toward him whenever they crossed paths. As was customary, Doctor Strange Fate consistently rejected her advances, leaving her affections unrewarded. Instead of using violence, the White Witch opts for seduction to overcome her opponents. Through her magic, she possesses the ability to track anyone within the Amalgam universe and also teleport to any particular location. Additionally, she can restore individuals she's previously rendered catatonic back to life. As her powers derive from the Hex, she's believed to have the capacity to manipulate reality and create illusions. The Bat Thing. Dr. Kirk Salis, aka the Bat Thing, is the amalgam of DC's Man-Bat and Marvel's Man-Thing. He debuted in Bat Thing issue number 1, Someone to Watch Over Me, in April 1997. The issue was written by Larry Hama and drawn by Rodolfo DiMaggio. Kirk, faced with a terminal illness, took a drastic measure by performing gene splicing experiments on himself using a combination of plant and animal DNA. Surprisingly, the treatment not only cured his illness, but also resulted in a dramatic transformation, turning him into a bat-like creature now known as the Bat Thing. Inspector Bullock from the New Gotham Police found himself investigating a murder case involving a drug dealer who had been brutally mauled. At first, suspicions pointed toward the Bat Thing as the culprit. However, new evidence emerged, revealing an escaped convict named Fat Freddy with a personal vendetta against Inspector Bullock. Fat Freddy intended to seek revenge by targeting the Salis family, who were under Bullock's protection. As the investigation unfolded, the New Gotham Police uncovered the truth that the Bat Thing was wrongly accused of the drug dealer's murder. It became apparent that he'd fallen victim to a devious plan orchestrated by Fat Freddy to divert blame. Although wounded by Bullock's gunfire, the Bat Thing fearlessly confronted Fat Freddy, ensuring the safety of the Salis family. Afterward, he retreated to his hidden laboratory in the swamp, resuming his solitary existence. The Bat Thing is equipped with leathery wings that help him to fly, sharp claws to slice and dice his opponents, and a touch that could corrode. He's highly agile and has got a radar sense. All his senses are heightened as that of a predator, and he's got super strength and stamina. The Big Question. Edward Nigma Fisk, aka Enigma Fist, aka The Big Question, is an amalgam of DC's Riddler and Marvel's Kingpin Wilson Fisk. He made his first appearance in Assassins issue number 1, Political Suicide, in April 1996. In the city of New Gotham, Fisk is a formidable figure who held the title of the ultimate crime lord, The Big Question, overseeing the criminal underworld. Driven by an obsession, he sabotaged his own triumphs by deliberately leaving behind hints about his upcoming actions. These clues served as warnings to heroes like Dare, allowing them to navigate through the dangerous traps and schemes set by the Big Question. The control of New Gotham City's Arkham Tower, a symbolic representation of disordered bureaucracy, lay in his hands. For a considerable period, he relentlessly pursued Dare the Terminator and went so far as to implant 2 horns into her skull, giving her the appearance resembling the devil. He employed Cat's Eye and Date in a scheme to assassinate Dare, aiming to restore his political reputation and earn the trust of the New Gotham community and media. However, after eliminating Dare, he faced a severe beating from Cat's Eye, who subsequently exposed his actions to Jimmy Yorick of the Gotham Bugle newspaper, effectively ending Fisk's tenure in office. The Big Question honed his skills in the martial arts, particularly judo, under the tutelage of a blind instructor named I Ching, earning him great respect in that realm. Additionally, his immense wealth grants him the ability to navigate through any form of corruption by leveraging his financial resources. As his name implies, he possesses a colossal physique, accompanied by extraordinary strength and stamina that surpasses human limits. Dare the Terminator. Slade Murdoch, aka Dare the Terminator, is the amalgam of DC's Deathstroke the Terminator and Marvel's Daredevil. She made her first appearance in Assassins issue number 1, Political Suicide, in April 1996. Slade, a visually impaired mercenary, operated in New Gotham City under the moniker Dare. She took this name due to her audacious exploits that few dared to challenge. She was trained by her father since she was a kid. When she fell into the clutches of Enigma Fisk, the city's mayor, he implanted devilish horns into her skull to accentuate her daredevil persona. Despite her blindness, Dare had already lost one eye when a criminal named Deadeye shot it out, necessitating the use of an eye patch. When her fellow mercenary Tombstone the Ravager sought to remove Dare from the equation, he hired Cat's Eye, another assassin, to eliminate her. Unexpectedly, Cat's Eye and Dare forged an unlikely friendship, eventually turning against Tombstone and dispatching him instead. In a twist of fate, Cat's Eye and Dare received a joint contract to assassinate Enigma Fisk. It was later revealed that Fisk had orchestrated the scenario to bolster his political standing. In a climactic confrontation, Fisk brutally tore Slade's horns from her head, inflicting fatal injuries on her. She was later resurrected following a visit from Dr. Strangefate. Dare possesses a radar sense that enables her to know her surroundings, stave off any attack, or launch an attack on someone. She's able to read just by feeling the ink on paper and distinguish individuals from their signature natural odors. She's able to feel any change in the environment and can become aware of any impending danger. Her super hearing enables her to detect acoustic pressures, which helps her even to dodge bullets. Armed with her billy club, she's a brilliant martial artist and has phenomenally heightened stamina, agility, and combat skills. Firebird. Firebird is an amalgam of DC's Fire and Marvel's Phoenix. She made her first appearance in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. Firebird, Apollo, and Wraith were original members of the Judgment League Avengers. Firebird's recruitment was facilitated by Mr. X, though it remained unknown to most. When Aquamariner was falsely accused of destroying rocks on oil tankers, Firebird and her new blood allies joined forces with the JLX. They successfully freed Aquamariner and welcomed him into their ranks. Tragically, she fell into a coma, leaving Apollo torn. Firebird eventually awoke, reuniting with Apollo. They were then transported back in time to the American Old West, known as Generation Hex, where they faced Ra's Apocalypse and embarked on an extraordinary adventure. Firebird possesses the extraordinary power of psychokinetic fire, a green psionic energy that forms a bird-like aura around her. This ability allows her to unleash fiery psychic blasts and generate focused energy streams for swift flight. Firebird displayed her telekinetic prowess when she fused a damaged submarine, even without beckoning her fire powers. Dark Firebird. Dark Firebird was an alter ego of Firebird and was the amalgam of DC's Fire and Marvel's Dark Phoenix. After Apollo and Firebird returned to the present, Firebird found herself entangled in the Dark Firebird contract, orchestrated by Mr. Mastermind, which led to the emergence of her Dark Firebird alter ego. Mr. X and Niles Cable, Firebird's son from a distant future, helped her to contain the persona inside her. However, her instability was a matter of concern amongst her teammates. During Armageddon Agenda, Maxwell Hodge managed to revive her Dark Firebird persona. Succumbing to darkness, Firebird transformed into a fully fledged villain and aligned herself with the Hellfire League of Injustice. Other members of the Injustice League were Maxwell Hodge, Mistress Maxima, and Savage Shaw. Together, they unleashed the monstrous Fen Fang Flame upon the world. Tragically, Firebird, along with her comrades, fell victim to Fang's rampage when it killed all of them before embarking on a hunt for other meta-mutants. Her power levels presumably elevated after she turned into Dark Firebird. The nature of her powers was the same, but she turned completely toward death and destruction of meta-mutants. Ra's Apocalypse. Ra's Apocalypse is an amalgam of DC's Ra's al Ghul and Marvel's Apocalypse. He made his first appearance in Dark Claw Adventures issue number 1, Face to Face, in June 1997. The issue was written and drawn by Ty Templeton. Ra's, an ancient meta-mutant, harbored a heinous agenda that called for the eradication of all other meta-mutants on Earth. To achieve this nefarious goal, he partnered with his daughter, Lady Talia, and concocted a deadly virus. Their scheme involved releasing the virus into the atmosphere, spelling doom for every meta-mutant across the planet. However, their vile plot was met with fierce opposition from Dark Claw. He intercepted Ra's in the desert and a sword fight ensued. But unfortunately, Dark Claw was bitten by a poisonous scorpion during the fight. Ra's walked away with Uberwong and boarded the plane where the virus was housed. In a final attempt to stop them, Dark Claw shot a rocket at the plane and brought it down, ending Ra's Apocalypse's reign of terror. The ensuing crash supposedly claimed the life of Ra's Apocalypse, and the flames that consumed the wreckage incinerated the sinister virus. However, Ra's body was never found. Ra's is an immortal deity with super strength and intellect. He can manipulate living beings at the genetic level. He's a master of sword fighting and unarmed combat. Lady Talia. Lady Talia is an amalgam of DC's Talia al Ghul and Marvel's Lady Deathstrike. She made her first appearance in Dark Claw Adventures issue number 1, Face to Face, in June 1997. Lady Talia was the daughter of Ra's and was in a romantic relationship with Dark Claw. She was involved in Ra's nefarious plan to eliminate all meta-mutants. When Dark Claw shot down Ra's plane in order to destroy the virus, Talia rushed to save Ra's from its burning remnants. While scouring through the burning pieces, she burned 90% of her skin. She had to be fitted with cybernetic adamantium implants in order to save her life. Upon revival, her only agenda in life was killing Dark Claw, so she abducted Sparrow and set up an intricate plan to kill him. In the final fight, Dark Claw tried to appeal to her to stop by reminding her of the love they once had, but Talia struck him and pierced his heart. She immediately showed repentance and grieved about giving up everything just to get her time with loved ones back. Dark Claw got revived thanks to his healing abilities and asked Talia to see the light and come back to him. The repenting Talia left her enmity behind and got back with Dark Claw and gave a chance to a good life. Lady Talia's body is covered with adamantium implants, which makes her impervious to external attacks or damage. She also has super strength and agility. Her retractable adamantium claws help her to slice through any object and her adversaries too. Cat's Eye. Elektra Kyle is an amalgam of DC's Catwoman and Marvel's Elektra. She made her first appearance in Assassins issue number 1, Political Suicide, in April 1996. Elektra grew up in the unforgiving environment of Cairo, where her father served as a United States ambassador. Following the tragic assassination of her father, Elektra sought solace in the teachings of ninjutsu, honing her skills in the martial arts. Assuming the identity of Cat's Eye, she undertook a mission assigned by Tombstone the Ravager to eliminate Dare the Terminator. However, fate took an unexpected turn when Elektra and Dare formed an unlikely alliance, forging a bond of friendship. Together, they defied Tombstone's plans and turned the tables on him, ultimately eliminating him. She also teamed up with Dare against the Big Question and helped bring him down. Cat's Eye is a brilliant martial artist and is deadly when it comes to the use of blades as weapons. Although she doesn't have any superpowers, she's extremely agile and a phenomenal hand-to-hand combatant. An ardent lover of cats, she has a dominatrix streak to herself, which is often cited as derogatory by other villains. The Omega Beast. Anatoly Rossovich, aka the Omega Beast, is an amalgam of DC's KG Beast and Marvel's Omega Red. He made his first appearance in Dark Claw Adventures issue number 1, Face to Face in June 1997. Anatoly was already born a meta-mutant, but he had an insatiable thirst to be even stronger and more dangerous. In his pursuit of supremacy, he decided to join the KGB, a group known for secret operations and experiments. In a strange agreement, Anatoly allowed the KGB to make cybernetic changes to his body, hoping to surpass his already powerful metamutant abilities. After the process, Anatoly went through a profound transformation and became the Omega Beast. This new identity was ruthlessly terrifying and merciless. With the cybernetic enhancements, he became a force to be reckoned with, striking fear in the hearts of heroes and ordinary people. He became a worthy adversary to Dark Claw and a deserving addition to his rogues gallery. After undoing the cybernetic enhancements, Omega Beast's already formidable abilities were taken to new heights. His newfound powers allowed him to unleash lethal death spores, which proved fatal to anyone unfortunate enough to come into contact with them. Omega Beast's touch alone was equally perilous, as he could drain the life force of unsuspecting humans with a single graze. This ability to absorb vitality left his victims weakened and drained. In addition to these deadly capabilities, he experienced a significant boost in physical prowess. His strength reached superhuman levels, enabling him to effortlessly overpower his adversaries. The cybernetic modifications also introduced formidable tentacles. These mechanical appendages granted him enhanced agility and dexterity, allowing him to strike swiftly and with precision, and also included an assortment of built-in weapons, equipping him with a fearsome arsenal that enhanced his overall threat level. Jade Nova. Frankie Rayner, aka Jade Nova, is the amalgam of DC's Green Lantern Kyle Rayner and Marvel's Nova Frankie Ray. She made her first appearance in Doctor Strange Fate issue number 1, The Decrees of Fate, in April 1996. Dr. Strange Fate had saved Frankie from the evil clutches of Thanos. In return, Frankie was indebted to Strange Fate and became his acolyte and aide, under the superhero moniker Jade Nova. She worked closely with Strange Fate and was trusted by him, although her passionate nature sometimes led her to act impulsively. Strange Fate was worried that the Amalgam universe might be split into its original 2 universes by Access. To prevent this, he sent Jade Nova, the Skulk, and the White Witch to capture Access. However, Access had the ability to teleport, which made it difficult for Jade Nova and the Skulk to complete their mission successfully. Despite their best efforts, they were unable to catch Access and accomplish their goal. Access was later caught by the White Witch. Jade Nova wears a special ring that grants her incredible powers. When she puts on the ring, it transforms her into a majestic being made of mystical green flames. In this fiery form, she gains extraordinary abilities to create solid objects using the green energy that surrounds her. She can shape these objects with just her thoughts, infusing them with the power of her mystical flames. She can create various things like shields for protection, powerful weapons for combat, or even intricate tools to aid her in specific tasks. Her imagination and determination are the only limits to what she can create with her green energy constructs. All-Highfather Odin. Odin Borson, aka All-Highfather Odin, is the amalgam of DC's Highfather and Marvel's Odin. He made his first appearance in Bullets and Bracelets issue number 1, Final Thrust. Odin was the ruler of Asgard. When Ragnarok threatened his kingdom's destruction, Odin released the enigmatic entity known as the Source to prevent complete annihilation. This action divided Asgard into New Asgard and Apocalypse. Years later, the Source warned Odin of an impending Ragnarok. To confront the impending catastrophe, Odin selected his adoptive son, Thorion the Hunter, to face his own eldest child, Lok Desad, who planned to unleash the Promethean giants using the powerful Mother Cube. With the Source's power, Thorion foiled his stepbrother's plot. However, their combined powers transformed them and the giants into a new entity known as the Celestial. In the future, Odin welcomed Ryan, the son of Diana Prince and Trevor Castle, along with Big Titania after their extended battle against Thanoside, Odin's archenemy. Odin is an immortal god and is connected to the Source directly. He's all-knowing and one of the wisest beings in existence in the Amalgam universe. His divine powers derive from the magic of the Source. Mix. Mix is an amalgam of DC's Mxyzptlk and Marvel's Wong. He was created by Ron Mars and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez and made his first appearance in Doctor Strange Fate issue number 1, The Decrees of Fate. After Doctor Strange Fate ascended to the prestigious position of Sorcerer Supreme, Nabu the Ancient One, a revered and powerful figure in the realm of magic, saw fit to grant him an additional asset. This valuable addition came in the form of Mix, an imp who came from a faction of otherworldly goblins. Mix had undergone extensive training in the mystical arts under the guidance of the Ancient One, and was imprisoned as a servant to Dr. Strangefate. It was thought that Mix's servitude was established through an agreement made to safeguard his fellow goblins from Dr. Strangefate's machinations. Although Mix initially joined his master on the initial missions to capture access, he'd since made a resolute choice to abstain from any further undertakings. While possessing mystical abilities of his own, Mix's powers paled in comparison to those wielded by Dr. Strangefate. Although Mix's magical powers might have been limited, his proficiency in this particular form of to and fro teleportation proved instrumental in facilitating the operations of Strangefate's loyal followers to capture access. Although he's a servant to Strangefate, he holds an intellect as brilliant as Strangefate himself. Psy-Girl. Imra Quanon, aka Psy-Girl, is the amalgam of DC's Saturn Girl and Marvel's Psylocke 2. She made her first appearance in SpiderBoy Team-Up issue number 1, Too Many Heroes, Too Little Time, in June 1997. She was created by Carl Kessel and Mike Wieringo. Psy-Girl, Vance Cosmic and Lightning Lad welcomed SpiderBoy when he traveled to the future in the Time Cube. There, Lightning Lad introduced the entire team to SpiderBoy, who were collectively called Legion of Galactic Guardians 2099. Psy-Girl was one of the founding members of the Legion along with Vance and Lightning Lad. For her to bring together this group of heroes, SpiderBoy was the main source of inspiration. She was killed during the chronal collapse but was instantaneously rebooted in a newer version. She was the one who gave SpiderBoy an anti-grav ring that would help him to fly. Psy-Girl is a formidable telepath that grants her the capacity to dive into the minds of individuals and transmit her own mental messages directly into them. As a result, she has control over their minds and is also able to manipulate their perceptions, creating illusions. Additionally, she can concentrate her powers into a psionic dagger, capable of inflicting damage by disrupting the nervous system of anyone pierced by its blade. The Green Skull. The Green Skull is an amalgam of DC's Lex Luthor and Marvel's Red Skull. He made his first appearance in Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. issue number 1 in April 1996. The issue was written by Chuck Dixon and drawn by Carrie Nord. In the 1940s, Lex Luthor, a respected entrepreneur in Metropolis, lived a double life. While being seen as a model citizen and friend to influential politicians, he secretly aided the Nazis and profited from the war. Only Super Soldier, a hero created by the US government, saw through his facade. Luthor discovered an alien ship carrying a powerful substance called Green K in Kansas. He stole it and created a serum that prolonged his life but transformed him into the sinister Green Skull. To eliminate Super Soldier, Luthor created the Ultra Metallo, a massive robot fueled by Green K. Super Soldier and Ultra Metallo clashed over Allied battleships, leading to both of them sinking in the Atlantic Ocean. Luthor then developed the K-bomb, using Green K, and handed it over to the Americans. The bomb swiftly ended the war, but its radiation affected only Super Soldier. In a bid to deceive others, Luthor sacrificed his allies and utilized his inventions to achieve his goals. After the war, Luthor formed the terrorist organization known as Hydra with the help of the Nazis. Due to the potent effects of the Green K serum, Luthor experiences an incredibly prolonged lifespan that verges on immortality. He possesses exceptional intellect, excelling in military and political strategies, while also showcasing his scientific genius by crafting remarkable technological advancements. He was highly skilled in marksmanship and hand-to-hand combat, displaying mastery in physical confrontations. However, his most formidable attributes lie in his immense wealth, extensive network of contacts, and significant political influence, granting him the ability to confront and overcome virtually any adversary. Apollo. Ray Summers, aka Apollo, is an amalgam of DC's Ray and Marvel's Cyclops. He's the brother of Chaos and father of Niles, Cable, and Jericho. He made his first appearance in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. Ray's parents, who were afraid of meta-mutants, kept him isolated at home until he reached his teenage years by falsely convincing him that sunlight would harm him. In reality, exposure to sunlight actually strengthened Ray, allowing him to harness its power through his eyes. When Mr. X formed the JLX by selecting members from the JLA, Ray took up the moniker of Apollo and joined the team and aided in the search for Atlantis, a hidden sanctuary for meta-mutants. During Firebird's coma, Apollo briefly entered into a romantic relationship with Madeline Pryor, Firebird's twin sister and the Red Queen. Sadly, their affair ended in tragedy when the Red Queen died. Apollo and Firebird journeyed back in time to the malformed West, encountering Ras Apocalypse. Later, the Armageddon Agenda event and Firebird's transformation into Dark Firebird had a profound effect on Apollo, leaving him in a state of catatonic coma. However, he managed to awaken when he utilized his metamutant abilities to absorb solar radiation, drawing power from Fen Fang Flame. This caused Apollo to undergo further mutation, resulting in his transformation into a radiant being made of pure energy. Ray's powers are energy-based. He's able to absorb the energy of the sun and shoot them through his eyes as solar blasts at his adversaries during any fight. Not only sunlight, he's also able to absorb any form of energy completely from any source and drain it dry. Runaway. Runaway is an amalgam of DC's Gypsy and Marvel's Rogue. She made her first appearance in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. The beautiful Runaway hailed from a Romani descent and spoke with an audible Texan accent. Her past remained shrouded in mystery, and even her real name wasn't disclosed. She was formerly affiliated with the Judgment League Avengers. However, when the Metamutant division of the team separated to establish their autonomous faction called the JLX, Runaway joined this independent group. Despite making efforts to protect Aquamariner from himself, Runaway actively participated with the Metamutants in their mission to find Atlantis. Following the conclusion of the Armageddon agenda, Runaway went missing. However, Runaway later regrouped with the JLX after being assembled by Amazon to confront the dangerous menace of Fen Fang Flame. Runaway is an expert combatant and martial artist. Her illusion-casting abilities help her in camouflage as well as manipulating thoughts of others. She has the extraordinary capacity to absorb the essence of individuals she touches through skin-to-skin contact. This includes assimilating their personality, memories, and even their physical appearance. Additionally, when encountering superpowered individuals, she also acquires any additional abilities they may possess. However, this is temporary, and she reverts back to her own self after a certain period of time. This is why she's in a romantic relationship with Wraith, whom she can touch freely, but nonetheless is slowly driven mad by his darkness. Sparrow. Jubilation Lee, aka Sparrow, is the amalgam of DC's Robin Carey Kelly and Marvel's Jubilee. She made her debut in Legends of the Dark Claw issue number 1, Through a Glass Darkly, in April 1996. A Metamutant since birth, Lee was orphaned when her parents fell victim to Metamutant hunting Sentinel robots. To ensure her own safety, she sought refuge within the vast shopping mall of New Gotham. It was within the deep sub-basement caverns of the mall that Jubilation unexpectedly stumbled upon Dark Claw, who was severely injured and cornered by his pursuers in a trap. Lee helped the wounded Dark Claw get away by sporting her hard light-based powers. Witnessing her impressive abilities and admirable demeanor, Dark Claw took the young girl under his wing. Lee initially desired to adopt the alias Death Urge Overdrive, but Dark Claw insisted that she instead embrace the name Sparrow. While Sparrow initially believed her powers could solve any problem, Dark Claw diligently encouraged her to rely on her intellect, access to information resources, and strategic planning as the primary course of action. He emphasized the use of physical danger as a last resort, prioritizing careful consideration and caution. Sparrow generates vibrant energy plasmoids from her fingertips, which she controls mentally. These plasmoids move as directed, forming different shapes before exploding on command. The energy's strength varies from blinding sparkles to destructive detonations. Sparrow can even create targeted bursts in a person's brain, mimicking a severe stroke. Remarkably, she can absorb the energy back into her body without any negative consequences. Additionally, she's trained in martial arts and forensics. She's a master hacker and can pilot any vehicle. The Huntress. Carol Danvers, aka Huntress, is an amalgam of DC's Huntress and Marvel's Captain Marvel. She made her first appearance in Legends of the Dark Claw issue number 1 in April 1996. She was created by Larry Hama and Jim Bayland. The Huntress, an enigmatic freelancer with a mysterious background tied to government operations, utilized her exceptional abilities and training for commissioned tasks. Hawkeye, a highly regarded member of the Judgment League Avengers, personally crafted the Huntress's crossbow. Unfortunately, Hawkeye mistakenly interpreted her intentions, believing she desired more than just archery lessons. However, the truth was that the Huntress possessed a sharp intellect and employed cunning strategies to achieve her desired goals. During one of her top-secret missions where she was investigating Hyena, she inadvertently came across a revelation of immense significance: the secret identity of Dark Claw. She helped Dark Claw and Sparrow in saving the President of the United States. While Huntress doesn't have any superpowers, she makes up for it with her remarkable intellect and brilliant combat skills. She's a master hand-to-hand fighter with cat-like agility and a master archer. Cobalt. Lucius Richmond, aka Cobalt, is the amalgam of DC's Gold of the Metal Men and Marvel's Mastermind. He made his first appearance in Magneto and the Magnetic Men issue number 1, Opposites Attract. He was created by Gerard Jones and Jeff Matsuda. When Magneto took control of his brother Will Magnus's robots, he recreated them in the image of the Brotherhood of Mutants and named them his Magnetic Men. Cobalt was a sentient android created as the radioactive powerhouse of the group. He helped the team to fight Sinestron when Conqueror was attacked in New York. He accompanied Magneto and the rest of his crew to Sinestron's lair, where they found thousands of mutants locked up in stasis chambers. But unfortunately, Sinestron incapacitated Magneto and his group. Cobalt, having the strongest electronic mind, used it to forge an ersatz will. He channeled it into Sinestron, dampening his powers via radiation. Magneto was freed, and the captive mutants were saved. However, Sinestron escaped. Cobalt was later killed in battle, but Magneto resurrected him. He was given a human form by Mr. Mastermind and the name Lucius Richmond by Magneto. He operated as a wealthy businessman as Lucius. Cobalt has the best electronic mind amongst the magnetic men. He can fly and shoot radioactive blasts at his adversaries. He's the natural leader of the team in absence of Magneto and has high intellect. Antimony. Antimony is the amalgam of DC's Platinum and Marvel's Scarlet Witch. She made her first appearance in Magneto and the Magnetic Men issue number 1, Opposites Attract. Antimony, a member of the Magnetic Men, stands out for her heightened emotional capabilities. Despite being diamagnetic and impervious to magnetic control, she was unable to exhibit magnetic properties herself. Over time, Antimony and her fellow Magnetic Men achieved sentience. During the battle with Sinestron, she was the one who broke the entire team free of Sinestron's mind control as well as the mind connection to Magneto. She tragically perished while battling the impossible mod. Magneto, however, managed to resurrect them, granting Antimony and the others the remarkable ability to transform into humans at their discretion. Antimony took up the human identity of Debbie Walker and pursued a career as a supermodel. Antimony is able to shoot blasts of diamagnetic energies from her hands. She has the most emotional mind amongst the Magnetic Men, and in a way connects them all with her emotions. Two-Faced Goblin. Harvey Osborn, aka the Two-Faced Goblin, is an amalgam of DC's Two-Face and Marvel's Green Goblin. He made his first appearance in Speed Demon issue number 1, Demon's Night, in April 1996. Harvey was a prominent figure in the esteemed circles of New Gotham City, experiencing a life-altering event that left him disfigured on the left side of his face. Consumed by a profound anger and driven by a thirst for revenge, he directed his blame toward Logan Wayne, vowing to avenge himself, and adopted the persona of the Two-Faced Goblin. He assumed leadership of the notorious Terrible Three, a malevolent trio that included the sinister Scarecrow and the formidable Silicon Man. Together, they spread chaos and terror throughout the city. Later, Harvey's former allies succumbed to the influence of an insidious force known as the Knight Specter. Driven by his twisted sense of justice, the Two-Faced Goblin turned against his comrades, ultimately killing them. However, in an unexpected turn, the Knight Specter gained control over the Two-Faced Goblin, forging a sinister union that harnessed their combined powers against their adversaries. In the climactic battle at the Sanctum of Lost Souls, Kid Demon defeated Harvey and drove away Knight Specter. Harvey is a highly educated, genius-level individual who has the knowledge of law and political sciences. He's got superhuman strength and agility, and also sports an accelerated healing factor. He's an expert marksman. Armed with his pumpkin bombs, he rides his goblin glider and spreads terror across New Gotham. After he was possessed by the Knight Specter, he could also tap into the arcane power of magic, which coursed through him. Bronze Tiger. Ben Jala, aka the Bronze Tiger, is the amalgam of DC's Bronze Tiger and Marvel's Black Panther. He made his first appearance in Bullets and Bracelets, issue number 1, Final Thrust. Bronze Tiger, a symbol of strength and resilience, assumed the esteemed position of leadership within the illustrious nation of Wakanda. Demonstrating his unwavering dedication to his homeland, he made his presence known alongside Senator Rocky Grimm at the United League of Nations. Their united front served as a staunch defense against the relentless ambitions of Kragoff and the insidious forces of Gorilla City, who seek to seize control of Wakanda. When Bronze Tiger ingests the special heart-shaped herb from Wakanda, he becomes like a wild cat with super speed, strength, agility, and really sharp senses. His outfit is made from a special metal called vibranium, which is almost impossible to destroy. It acts like a shield, protecting him from getting hurt. His gloves have claws made from vibranium too. These claws can cut through almost anything, making him very powerful and able to defeat his enemies easily. These formidable assets further augment his already formidable combat skills, allowing him to navigate even the most treacherous of situations with unrivaled grace and efficiency. Moonwing. Dick Grayson. Richard Grayson, aka Moonwing, is an amalgam of DC's Nightwing and Marvel's Moon Knight. He made his first appearance in Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., issue number 1, in April 1996. Dick Grayson started his journey as a young acrobat in a local circus. He had a split personality and an aggressive alter ego called Mark Spector, which caused problems and drove Dick to leave the circus. However, Bruce Wayne, recognizing his potential, recruited him to S.H.I.E.L.D. Dick used his circus costume to create a new moniker called Moonwing, drawing inspiration from Mark Spector's fascination with the moon. As Moonwing, he found a way to channel the aggression of his Mark persona. Over time, he learned to reconcile his two personalities and decided to lead a normal life. To pursue his studies in college, Dick trained a young protege named Jason Todd to take on the responsibilities of Moonwing. Tragically, Jason fell victim to a terrorist trap and lost his life during a mission. Feeling responsible for Jason's death, Dick resumed his Moonwing identity, carrying the weight of guilt. Grayson has attained mastery in various martial arts disciplines, displaying exceptional proficiency in combat, stealth, escapism, and a wide range of other abilities. He's a natural athlete, which allows him to perform unparalleled feats such as the quadruple somersault. He possesses fluency in multiple languages. In addition to his physical prowess, Grayson possesses exceptional strategic thinking and leadership skills, making him an adept strategist. As Moonwing, his costume is made of Nomex, which is fire-resistant due to its triple-weave Kevlar lining. This fabric also provides insulation against electricity. The suit is light-sensitive, adapting to the surrounding brightness by darkening accordingly. He also employs crescent moon-shaped boomerangs with razor-sharp edges as part of his arsenal. Moonwing, Jason Todd. The Jason Todd version of Moonwing is an amalgam of DC's Jason Todd and Marvel's Moon Knight. He made his first appearance in Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., issue number 1, in April 1996. Jason was a promising young recruit for S.H.I.E.L.D. He received personal guidance and mentorship from both S.H.I.E.L.D. director Bruce Wayne and Moonwing, Dick Grayson. Despite his occasional recklessness, Todd was selected to take on the mantle of Moonwing when Grayson temporarily departed S.H.I.E.L.D. to pursue studies at Oxford University. He didn't have any split personality, but he was very rash and reckless. As the new Moonwing, Jason Todd tragically made a careless error that led to the death of a fellow S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Consequently, he was promptly dismissed from the organization and his career as Moonwing ended. Filled with anger and resentment toward his mentors, Todd held Bruce and Dick responsible for his downfall. Jason was exceptionally acrobatic, agile, and a master of hand-to-hand combat. Together with that, he had the entire arsenal of Moonwing at his disposal, which he used to fight his adversaries. Deathlock. Deathlock is an amalgam of DC's Jason Todd and Marvel's Deathlock and Midnight. He made his first appearance in Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. issue number 1 in April 1996. While Jason was blaming Bruce and Dick for getting disbanded from S.H.I.E.L.D., the deranged hyena had orchestrated a bomb blast to eliminate Bruce Wayne and Logan Wayne. Jason Todd was caught in the blast. Since his body was never recovered, S.H.I.E.L.D. presumed that Todd perished in the explosion. However, he was alive and his body was salvaged by a villainous group called Hydra. They fitted cybernetic implants into his damaged body and transformed him into a cyborg named Deathlock. Deathlock immediately placed his allegiance to Hydra. He spotted Dick Grayson dressed up as Moonwing while he was trying to thwart S.H.I.E.L.D.'s attack on Hydra Base Omega. Seeking revenge, Deathlock ambushed Moonwing. Utilizing his enhanced strength, Deathlock forcefully tried to strangle Moonwing. However, Deathlock's murderous intent was interrupted when Colonel Nick Fury and Sergeant Joe Rock swiftly seized control of an aircraft and unleashed a barrage of gunfire, striking Deathlock multiple times in the back and killing him. As Deathlock, Jason Todd had superhuman strength and agility, with increased strength due to his cybernetic implants. Additionally, his costume was fitted with an arsenal at his disposal to fight his adversaries. Colonel Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Colonel Bruce Wayne is an amalgam of DC's Bruce Wayne and Marvel's Nick Fury. He made his first appearance in Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. issue number 1 in April 1996. When he was a kid, Bruce suffered the tragic loss of his spy parents at the hands of the villainous group known as Hydra. Driven by a deep desire for vengeance, Bruce enlisted in S.H.I.E.L.D. and received training from seasoned World War II veterans Nick Fury and Sergeant Rock. As Bruce ascended the ranks within S.H.I.E.L.D., he harnessed the organization's resources to pursue his mission of retribution against the sinister Green Skull, the individual responsible for his parents' tragic fate. Speculation circulated about Bruce potentially using his family's wealth to gain control of S.H.I.E.L.D., bypassing the usual path of promotion. Bruce's unrelenting pursuit of Green Skull had taken a toll on his soul, causing it to diminish. In a climactic showdown at Hydra Base Omega, Bruce confronted formidable adversaries, Madame Cat and Baron Zero. The fight ended in an inferno where Bruce seemingly died. However, he reappeared in JLX Unleashed number 1. Bruce shared a romantic connection with Barbara Hardy, who operated as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent adopting the persona of Black Bat. He's unrelated to Logan Wayne, who is the Batman of this universe. Bruce dedicated himself to reaching the pinnacle of human physicality through rigorous training. Upon joining S.H.I.E.L.D., he pushed himself even further to become a master strategist, honing his skills as an exceptional hand-to-hand combatant, martial artist, and acquiring access to advanced weaponry and gadgets from Stark Labs. These additional resources further enhance his effectiveness as both a formidable soldier and a skilled diplomat. Spiral Harley. Spiral Harley is an amalgam of DC's Harley Quinn and Marvel's Spiral. She made her first appearance in Dark Claw Adventures issue number 1, Face to Face, in June 1997. Dr. Harleen served as a psychiatrist at Ravencroft Asylum, where she encountered and developed feelings for the hyena. She fell in love so madly that she helped Hyena in escaping from prison. However, Hyena betrayed her and threw her into a vat of acid. Harleen's life was saved by her future self, Spiral, a disfigured cyborg determined to alter her own fate. Spiral utilized sorcery and nanotechnology to transform Harleen, granting her 6 arms, cybernetic enhancements, and newfound knowledge of the arcane. Disturbed by her altered state, Harleen killed Spiral, adopted the name Spiral Harley, and embraced chaos as her essence. Despite her twisted affection for the hyena, she expressed her love by relentlessly tormenting him and trying to break him physically and psychologically, driven by her distorted sense of devotion. Spiral Harley wields incredible magical powers that grant her control over people's minds, the ability to teleport, and the capacity to unleash potent bursts of mystical energy. Her superhuman strength and lethal combat skills, coupled with her 6 arms, allow her to execute a diverse array of devastating fighting techniques. Enhanced by cybernetic enhancements, she possesses unparalleled marksmanship and near-flawless precision. Leveraging her expertise in psychology alongside her formidable magical aptitude, Spiral Harley adeptly manipulates others to fulfill her nefarious ambitions. Cultron. Cultron is an amalgam of DC's Cobra and Marvel's Ultron. He made his first appearance in Magnetic Men featuring Magneto issue number 1, Born Again, released in June 1997. It was written by Tom Payer and drawn by Barry Kitson. Will Magnus engineered Cultron with the purpose of confronting his brother Magneto and the Magnetic Men, as well as eliminating metahumans. Cultron once ventured into the past, perceiving the advantage of hunting metahumans when their numbers were fewer, which facilitated their complete extermination. Initially part of the Sinister Society, a collective of villainous machines conceived by Will Magnus, Cultron and his fellow members rebelled against their creator, yearning to resemble humans just like the Magnetic Men. The Sinister Society relentlessly pursued the Magnetic Men, engaging them in battles until Magneto intervened. Recognizing their shared adversary, they united their forces in opposition to their mutual foe. Besides having a baton that he uses to shoot energy blasts at his adversaries, he's also super strong. His body is completely covered in the indestructible metal called adamantium, which makes him impervious to any attack. Ravenia Dayspring. Ravenia Dayspring, aka the Healer, is the amalgam of DC's Raven and Marvel's Alia Dayspring. She made her first appearance in the exciting X-Patrol issue number 1, The Curse of Brotherhood. It was written by Barbara Randall Kessel and drawn by Brian Hitch. Ravenia served as a spiritual healer with a Celtic-rooted cult, but her origin remains shrouded in mystery. She was the long-lost love of Niles Cable. A long time ago, Ravenia transformed into Trigon Scott, the warrior, got wounded and died in Niles' arms. When Niles was captured by Brother Brood and subjected to the Brood Pit, he reached deep into his heart and beckoned Ravenia. Ravenia revealed that Niles was capable of thwarting the Brood implant that was killing him, using the soul self of Ravenia that Niles guarded within himself. But he found himself submitting to the Brood implant. However, he was saved by a younger version of himself, and Ravenia arrived again to assure him that it was not his time and he could heal. Furthermore, there have been prophecies suggesting that Ravenia is destined to become Niles Cable's future spouse. Ravenia the Healer has the empathetic powers of healing. She can touch someone and take away their pain and absorb them herself. She's also able to detach from her soul self and use it to destroy his enemies or help his allies. Once she turned into a warrior, and that ensures that she's also experienced in hand-to-hand and weapon combat. Niles Cable. Niles Cable is an amalgam of DC's Niall Calder and Marvel's Cable. He made his first appearance in the exciting X-Patrol issue number 1, The Curse of Brother Brood. Hailing from an apocalyptic future, Cable was a cybernetically enhanced mutant and a time traveler. He traveled to the present with the mission of manipulating some key incidents in the Amalgam timeline to prevent his reality from ever happening. Being aware of the assistance he would require in his mission, Niles enlisted a group of mutant individuals who were rejected by society and deemed misfits, forming the team known as X-Patrol. With his foresight, he's aware that X-Patrol will not only emerge as legendary heroes, but will also meet their demise in heroic and honorable ways. He was romantically involved with Elastigirl, but in the future, Ravenia was her one true love. He was infected by the Brood implant, a technovirus that was slowly taking over his body and mind on the island of Genosha. But he was revived thanks to his future self and Ravenia. In another battle against Dr. Doomsday, he was left paraplegic and wheelchair-bound. He was known for his super intellect and team-leading capabilities. He was a brilliant fighter, and his cybernetic implants made him near indestructible. He was also a telepath and a telekinetic, and supposedly held a piece of his old mates who had passed away in the future. Jericho, X-Man. Niles Dayspring, aka Jericho, is an amalgam of DC's Jericho and Marvel's X-Man. He made his first appearance in the exciting X-Patrol issue number 1, The Curse of Brother Brood. Hailing from the past timeline of an alternate future, Niles Dayspring was an alternate younger version of Niles Cable. How he traveled to the present timeline of Amalgam was unknown, but he had one mission in mind. He had to save Niles Cable and eliminate Brother Brood. Upon traveling to the present, he used his telekinesis to attach a rocky encasement over his body to disguise his true identity. He was recruited into the X-Patrol team as a replacement of Terra X when she betrayed Niles. He introduced himself as the lover of Janet Van Dyne and became one of the most trusted allies of Niles. He warned the team to steer clear of the Brood virus, as he'd seen Strife and Despair suffer and die from it, and also joined them in their fight to Genosha where Brood held Niles captive. In the climactic battle, he revealed his true form form is Niles Dayspring, the X-Man. He summoned his soul self to heal Brother Brood, and Brood was killed by it. He presumably left after handing over the current timeline to Niles Cable after he was revived from the techno-virus. X-Man possesses exceptional telepathic and telekinetic abilities. As a telepath, he can read minds, control others, and create illusions by manipulating their senses. He can also shield his own mind and launch psychic mind bolts to disrupt his target's nervous system. Additionally, X-Man's telekinetic powers enable him to move objects with his thoughts, manipulate matter at a molecular level, create protective shields, fire psionic blasts, and even fly by levitating himself through the air. He can summon his soul self to do his bidding, it can kill his enemies or heal his friends. Magneto. Eric Magnus, aka Magneto, is the amalgam of DC's Will Magnus and Marvel's Magneto, Eric Lenscher. He debuted in Magneto and the Magnetic Men, issue number 1, Opposites Attract, in April 1996. During his adolescence, Eric Magnus unlocked his meta-mutant abilities, causing his brother, Will Magnus, to harbor hatred and fear toward him. Assuming the moniker Magneto, Eric gathered a group of extraordinary mutants known as the Brotherhood of Mutants. The deep-seated animosity between the Magnus siblings culminated in a tragic event when Will's Sentinel robots ruthlessly exterminated the Brotherhood's members, sparing only Magneto. In a tribute to their memory, Magneto harnessed his remarkable magnetic powers to create the Magnetic Men, a team of robotic allies committed to advocating for mutant rights and combating the Sentinels. The team members were named Antimony, Bismuth, Cobalt, Iron, and Nickel, but he put them all under his control so that he could lead them with a strong hand. Additionally, Magneto devised Cerebro, an immensely powerful supercomputer designed to detect and assist mutants. An intense rivalry existed between Magneto and Mr. X, the leader of JLX. When all his Magnetic Men were killed in the battle with the Impossible Mod, he restored them back to life and, with the help of Mr. Mastermind, provided them a human form and civilian identities so that they can lead a normal life. Magneto is the master of magnetism. Possessing absolute dominion over electromagnetic forces, Magneto wields the power to manipulate metallic substances, unleash powerful energy blasts, disrupt electronic systems, generate protective force fields, and achieve flight through magnetic levitation. Will Magnus. William Magnus is the amalgam of DC's Doc Robot and David Magnus and Marvel's Bolivar Trask. He made his first appearance in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. Will, the non-superpowered brother of Magneto, became consumed by envy and dedicated himself to eradicating all metamutants. He created the Sentinels, specialized robotic hunters which achieved a grim victory by annihilating Magneto's Brotherhood of Mutants. However, Magneto resurrected the Brotherhood as the Magnetic Men. Concurrently, Will crafted an android wife named Jocasta and had a subordinate named Black Vulture. Under Will's direction, 3 Roxxon oil freighters were destroyed, framing Aquamariner and causing a division among the Judgment League Avengers. This led to the formation of the JLX after Aquamariner's imprisonment. Will then obtained the Serpent's Crown, an Atlantean artifact, and discovered the sunken realm of Atlantis, home to all metamutants. He employed the Sentinels to attack the JLX, but that attack resulted in Jocasta's tragic demise. Later on, Will acquired congressional approval for the Armageddon agenda, granting him the authority to exterminate metamutants worldwide. Beginning with the JLX and X-Patrol, his campaign was foiled with the help of superheroine Amazon. Although Will had no superpower, his main utility was his unparalleled intellect, his mastery over socio-political scenarios, and his brilliance in the field of science and robotics. To add to everything, he had an evil and conniving mind driven by jealousy that drove him to plan for extinction of the mutant kind. He's very resourceful and one of few supervillains who have fought all the JLA, JLX, Magneto and his Magnetic Men, and X-Patrol. Challengers of the Fantastic. Challengers of the Fantastic are an amalgam of DC's Challengers of the Unknown and Marvel's Fantastic Four. They made their first appearance in Challengers of the Fantastic issue number 1 in April 1997. They were created by Carl Kessel and Tom Grummett. Known by the moniker of Death-Cheating Agents, the Challengers were a group stationed within Fantastic Mountain's cavern. Their primary function involved monitoring the vicinity surrounding New York City and providing assistance whenever required. The group consisted of 4 members: Sue Ace Storm, the fearless SHIELD agent; Reed Prof Richards, the dynamic Cadmus science genius; Johnny Red Storm, the Daredevil youth, and Sue's younger brother, and Ben Rocky Grimm, the two-fisted senator. All of them enlisted in a covert space mission to test the shuttle that was built to withstand the cosmic rays of the sun. It was manned by Victor Von Doom from Earth. However, Victor got jealous, as he thought Reed could never have achieved perfecting the shuttle shield without him. So he sabotaged the shuttle and crashed it on Earth. However, Sue, Reed, Red, and Ben survived miraculously. They decided that since they were given a second chance at life, they were living on borrowed time, and they would use this time in the service of humankind, challenging the fantastic, which no one else dares. Taking on the symbol of an hourglass and naming themselves Challengers of the Fantastic, they embarked on an adventurous journey filled with thrill and action. The Challengers were secret agents and didn't have any superpowers. Their main prowess relied on skilled combat, usage of a variety of weapons and gadgets. While Richards looked at the scientific and technological part of the missions, Sue and Johnny were more about heart-pumping, high-octane adventures, and Ben was the brawn of the group. Once during a fight with Galaxia, Ben was transformed into the four-armed thing, reminiscent of his Marvel Comics counterpart. He was transformed back when the Silver Racer stopped Galaxia. Gamorreau. Gamorreau is an amalgam of DC's Princess Shaola and Marvel's Gamora. She made her first appearance in Lobo the Duck in April 1997. It was written by Alan Grant and drawn by Val Semeiks. Gamorreau, a bounty hunter and fan of Lobo the Duck, joined forces with Jonas Turnip and Billy the Millie after obtaining control of the powerful Crystal Rod of Doom. However, their plans were jeopardized, and they found themselves in a dire situation. With the aid of a demigod, they managed to escape. The trio eventually encountered Lobo, with Jonas intending to reveal the identity of the individual responsible for the destruction of Manhattan. However, their conversation was interrupted by Jonas's brother, Daryl Rutabaga. As Jonas and Daryl engaged in combat, Billy and Gamorreau made their exit with Lobo, seeking a moment of intimacy. Unfortunately, their rendezvous was disrupted by the unexpected arrival of Beverline. Gamorreau is an exceptional warrior, possessing remarkable agility for swift and precise navigation. Her invulnerability renders her highly resilient to physical harm. With exceptional marksmanship, she hits targets accurately using various projectile weapons. Extraordinary stamina allows her to endure prolonged physical exertion without fatigue. Super speed gives her a significant advantage, swiftly evading or attacking opponents. With super strength, she effortlessly overpowers foes in close quarters combat. Mastering swordsmanship enhances her finesse and precision in wielding blades. As a skilled weapon master, Gamorreau maximizes her effectiveness by proficiently wielding a diverse array of armaments. Madame Banshee. Madame Banshee is an amalgam of DC's Madame .44 and Marvel's Banshee. She made her first appearance in Generation Hex issue number 1, Humanity's Last Stand, in June 1997. The issue was written by Peter Milligan and drawn by Adam Polina. Madame Banshee, an Irish lady hailing from the historical period of the Old West, embodied the distorted nature of society during that time. She was a malform, an old term for mutants. In the past, she'd been the proprietor of a brothel that masqueraded as a refined institution for young women known as the Hexians. These girls had provided entertainment to gentlemen under the guise of a finishing school. However, a tragic incident unfolded, leading to the demise of most of the Hexians. The surviving members had held Madame Banshee responsible for not adequately safeguarding them and had sought retribution. It was worth noting that Madame Banshee had been the great-great-granddaughter of the immortal Black Tom Savage and had a daughter named Thunder Chick. She's supposed to have the prowess of telepathy, often termed as mind power, with the use of which she's able to mesmerize others and keep them in check, and even kill them. Jono Hex. Jono Hex is the amalgam of DC Comics' Jonah Hex and Marvel Comics' Chamber. He made his first appearance in Generation Hex issue number 1, Humanity's Last Stand, in June 1997. He was created by Peter Milligan and Adam Polina. During his early childhood, Jono resided in a town named Humanity, which fostered a deep-seated aversion towards malforms. Being part of the lower class, Jono's family faced scorn from the affluent locals. His father, a manure salesman, was a decent man but had suffered a head injury caused by a mule in his youth. Despite his best efforts to gain acceptance, he encountered constant rejection. Tragically, Jono's mother lost her life while giving birth to his sister, as the doctors in Humanity callously refused to provide assistance. Overwhelmed by the untimely demise of his wife and unable to cope with the loss, Jono's father turned to alcohol. Later, the children of Humanity, fueled by animosity, set fire to the Hex family home, annihilating all their possessions and claiming Jono's father's life. Amid the chaos of the blazing inferno, Jono managed to escape but suffered a horrifying manifestation of his malformed power. His lower jaw was obliterated, leaving behind a scarred chasm across his young face. He was forcibly banished from Humanity. As Jono matured, he cultivated both physical strength and a penchant for cruelty, which earned him a notorious reputation for his volatile temper. Eventually, he established a band of malform outlaws known as Generation Hex. Hex has fiery blasts emanating from his mouth. He's highly acrobatic and a great horseman. Being an outlaw in the Old West, he's also a brilliant marksman. Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is an amalgam of DC's Captain Marvel and Marvel's Captain Marvel. He made his first appearance in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. William Marvel hails from the Kree tribe, who were in a constant state of hatred and war with the Krull tribe, from which Mr. X belonged. That justified his heat towards Mr. X and his team of superheroes, the JLX. He was a member of the Judgment League Avengers. Secretly, he was a teenager who changed into the Kree superhero by shouting the word Kree. This was a secret that he held back even from his team. He hated the mutant kind dearly, the reason for which was never revealed. He was transported to Apocalypse by inspired Doctor Strange Fate to put up a fight against Thanoside. He also attacked the JLX headquarters in order to capture Aquamariner, who was framed by Will Magnus to have destroyed the Roxxon oil freighters. Captain Marvel possesses superhuman strength, durability, stamina, and accelerated healing. He effortlessly lifts heavy objects, withstands powerful blows, and recovers from injuries rapidly. With the ability to fly using cosmic energy, he exhibits incredible speed and maneuverability in aerial combat. Additionally, Captain Marvel's energy projections from his hands serve as offensive attacks and defensive shields. These formidable abilities make him a versatile and powerful combatant capable of overcoming any adversary. Madame Sapphire. Madame Sapphire is an amalgam of DC's Star Sapphire and Marvel's Madame Mask and Pepper Potts. She made her debut in Iron Lantern issue number 1, Showdown at Stark Aircraft. Pepper Ferris was a test pilot at Stark Aircraft in Coast City, where her exceptional aptitude for handling surprises in the skies set her apart. Despite her strong-willed disposition, Pepper found herself caught up in a complex love triangle involving her co-worker, mechanic Happy Kalmaku, and her boss, Hal Stark. Adding to her challenges, Pepper's relationship with her father, Senator Harrington Ferris, was strained due to their clashing personalities. Everything took a drastic turn when Pepper came into contact with a mysterious sapphire gem, leading to a profound metamorphosis into the malevolent persona of Madame Sapphire. Whenever she touched the gem, it consumed her entirely, both physically and mentally, unleashing the overpowering presence of Madame Sapphire. Despite her efforts to resist these transformations, Pepper found herself overwhelmed by the vivid images in her mind. Unbeknownst to Pepper, Hal Stark secretly assumed the mantle of the superhero Iron Lantern. However, Madame Sapphire possessed knowledge of Hal's dual identity. As Madame Sapphire, Pepper became embroiled in a heated clash against Iron Lantern. Following the defeat of Madame Sapphire, Hal, fully aware of Pepper's true identity, played a pivotal role in restoring her original personality. Madame Sapphire possesses an enigmatic sapphire energy, which grants her the ability to soar through the air, unleash sapphire energy projectiles from her hands, and create tangible structures out of sapphire energy. Lobo the Duck. Lobo the Duck is an amalgam of DC's Lobo and Marvel's Howard the Duck. He made his first appearance in Lobo the Duck number 1, Fragging War, in June 1997. He was created by Alan Grant and Val Simix. In an alternate universe devoid of superheroes, Lobo the Duck emerged as a brave and muscular bounty hunter, assuming the role of an anti-hero. Accompanied by a shape-shifting canine ally, Impossible Dog, he fearlessly plunged into an investigation revolving around the mysterious murders of Amalgam Comics superheroes. Although initially hesitant, Lobo reluctantly agreed to pursue the truth, primarily driven by the upfront payment he'd received from the deceased heroes. He embarked on his mission, confronting a series of intense confrontations against formidable adversaries such as Gold Kidney Lady and Dr. Bongface. However, amidst the tumult, Lobo stumbled upon a shocking revelation, an impending apocalypse that only he possessed the power to avert. Lobo was quite famous amongst the ladies. Although he had a girlfriend named Beverline, he frequently took in other partners as well, like Billy the Millie and Gammarola. Lobo possessed extraordinary abilities that set him apart. His regenerative healing and immortality ensured his longevity. With unmatched stamina and durability, he surpassed physical limits. His superhuman sense of smell tracked targets across galaxies, aiding his relentless bounty hunting. Lobo's genius-level intellect and tracking skills made him an unrivaled hunter. Mastering Quack Fu, a unique fighting style, he delivered devastating blows. Proficient in weapons like knives, grenades, and guns, he adapted to any situation, utilizing everything at his disposal. Mandarinestro. Mandarinestro is an amalgam of DC Sinestro and Marvel's Mandarin. He made his debut in Iron Lantern issue number 1, Showdown at Stark Aircraft. Formerly a member of the Starbrand Corps, Sinestro fell victim to Uatu The Guardian's plan to eliminate every member of the Corps. Unbeknownst to Uatu, Sinestro managed to survive the attempt on his life. Fueled by a desire for revenge against Uatu and his associates, Sinestro adopted the villainous persona of Mandarinestro, plotting to acquire alien rings and increase his power. Mandarinestro established a hidden stronghold on the dark side of the moon, devising strategies to defeat Iron Lantern and harness the power of Oa, the living planet, aiming to become the most formidable being in the universe. To achieve his goals, he resurrected Madame Sapphire and employed her to abduct Senator Ferris, who was present in Coast City to witness the maiden flight of an experimental aircraft. Exploiting the ambitions of the Green Guardsman, Mandarinestro deceived him into stealing the power battery from Stark Aircraft, promising him the opportunity to replace Iron Lantern. However, his true intention was to eliminate the Green Guardsman and seize the power battery for himself. Despite his plans, Mandarinestro ultimately faced defeat at the hands of Iron Lantern, Madame Sapphire, Green Guardsman, and Tagak the Lantern Lord. Mandarinestro wielded devastating blast powers and created energy constructs. His impenetrable shield defended against attacks, while energy-enhanced strikes delivered incapacitating blows. Flight granted him unmatched mobility, and hard-light force fields provided additional defenses. Mandarinestro's holographic projections manipulated perceptions and enhanced his strategies. Canary. Dinah Barton, aka Canary, is an amalgamation of DC's Black Canary and Marvel's Mockingbird. She made her appearance in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. Canary, the daughter of Nightingale, is a founding member of the Judgment League Avengers, including Doctor Strange Fate, Angel Hawk, Iron Lantern, and the Aquamariner. During the JLA's exploration, Canary was present when they stumbled upon the frozen body of Super Soldier, preserved in ice in the northern Atlantic Ocean. To their astonishment, they revived him and discovered that he was still alive. Super Soldier's return invigorated the team, and he officially joined their ranks. Meanwhile, Canary found herself caught in a love triangle, torn between her affection for Hawkeye and Goliath. She was one of few who were sent to fight Thanos in Apocalypse by Doctor Strange Fate during the crisis. Canary's abilities are truly extraordinary, as she can manipulate the volume of her voice, amplifying it to ultrasonic levels. By unleashing powerful sonic waves through her screams, she can render her enemies deaf and incapacitated. Moreover, she possesses the impressive skill to focus and concentrate these intensified sound waves into a concentrated sonic blast, possessing enough force to shatter steel. Alongside her sonic powers, Canary is also a formidable martial artist, showcasing remarkable proficiency in a wide range of combat techniques. Her mastery in martial arts further complements her already formidable abilities, making her a formidable force to be reckoned with. Ultra Metallo. Ultra Metallo is an amalgam of DC's Metallo and Marvel's Ultimo and Sleeper robots. It made its first appearance in Super Soldier issue number 1, Secret of the K-Bombs. Ultra Metallo was created by Mark Waid and Dave Gibbons. In 1938, a green meteorite, dubbed Green K, or the Kansas Lode, was unearthed within a spacecraft of extraterrestrial origin that had landed in Kansas. This extraordinary green one became the core focus of a highly classified undertaking known as the Super Soldier Project. Guided by the war profiteer Lex Luthor, Nazi scientists seized control of the spacecraft from the US government during the early 1940s, initiating experiments with the enigmatic substance. Motivated by the desire to create a weapon capable of eradicating the Super Soldier, Luthor harnessed the radiation emitted by the Green K to empower Ultra Metallo, a gargantuan robot bearing a prominent swastika symbol on its chest. The heart of Ultra Metallo, infused with Green K, emitted radiation that specifically targeted the Super Soldier. In March of 1942, Ultra Metallo hurtled towards Washington, D.C., armed with an explosive device within its chest, programmed to detonate upon reaching the White House. But Super Soldier engaged in a furious battle with it over an Allied fleet in the Atlantic Ocean, culminating in both combatants sinking into the ocean's depths. Decades later, Lex Luthor, now adopting the moniker Green Skull, alongside his Hydra cartel, stumbled upon the surviving remains of Ultra Metallo, miraculously still operational. Once again, the robot endeavored to fulfill its programming by launching an assault on the White House. Assisted by the Judgment League Avengers, the Super Soldier emerged triumphant, thwarting the robot's objectives for the second time. Ultra Metallo is a humongous robot and is presumably indestructible with superhuman strength and stamina. It's armed with a Green K radioactive bomb that, if detonates, can take out a large area. It has the power of flight, but relies on the programming coded into its mind, as it has no mind of its own. King Lizard. King Lizard is an amalgam of DC's King Shark and Marvel's Lizard. He made his first appearance in SpiderBoy issue number 1, Big Trouble, in April 1996. An unidentified antagonist stole DNA samples taken from Dr. Kurt Connors, a scientist working on Project Cadmus. These samples were merged with reptilian DNA, resulting in the creation of a menacing creature known as King Lizard. SpiderBoy managed to apprehend King Lizard and confine him within the secure containment cells at Cadmus. However, during a clash between SpiderBoy and Bizarnage, the power system for King Lizard's cell suffered damage, leading to his escape. In the process, King Lizard inflicted significant harm upon the power core that maintained a clone of American Girl in suspended animation. While making his getaway, he crashed into the laboratory of Hank Pym. In an unintended encounter, he was exposed to Pym particles, known for its ability to alter an individual's size. This exposure caused King Lizard to undergo an immense growth, transforming him into a colossal monster resembling a kaiju. SpiderBoy seized a white dwarf star device acquired from Ray Palmer, and he launched this device into King Lizard's mouth, and ultimately diminished him to a subatomic size. King Lizard has the wall-crawling abilities of a gecko, allowing him to scale surfaces with ease. King Lizard boasts immense power like a Komodo dragon, capable of overpowering his adversaries. He possesses remarkable underwater capabilities akin to a saltwater crocodile, enabling him to navigate through aquatic environments effortlessly. Another remarkable trait is his camouflage ability, reminiscent of a chameleon, allowing him to blend into his surroundings and remain undetected. Lastly, he also possesses the remarkable durability seen in an alligator snapping turtle, providing him with a formidable defense against attacks. the Black Bat. Barbara Gordon Hardy, aka Black Bat, is an amalgam of DC's Batgirl and Marvel's Black Cat. She made her first appearance in Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., issue number 1, in April 1996. Although an ex-thief, Barbara leveraged her innate athletic abilities and assumed the mantle of the Black Bat to combat criminals. Embracing this superheroic persona, she dedicated herself to protecting the innocent and upholding justice in New Gotham. Being an adept martial artist and information specialist, she meticulously tailored herself to meet S.H.I.E.L.D.'s specialized operational requirements. Additionally, she became the ideal partner director Bruce Wayne sought, blending seamlessly into his needs. Despite Bruce's usual reserved demeanor towards others, he was seemingly susceptible to Barbara's alluring feline stalking. As Bruce contemplated marriage with her, they were unexpectedly assigned a mission to halt a catastrophic Doomsday weapon. Together, they succeeded in obliterating the weapon, but Bruce disappeared in the ensuing explosion. The fate of Bruce still remains uncertain. Barbara dedicated herself to further training upon joining S.H.I.E.L.D. This included becoming a master detective, an exceptional practitioner of hand-to-hand combat and martial arts, and acquiring proficiency in handling advanced weaponry and cutting-edge gadgets. The augmentation of her probability-altering power further amplifies her effectiveness within Colonel Wayne's elite strike unit. The Insect Queen. Mary Jane Watson, aka Insect Queen, is an amalgam of DC's Insect Queen Lana Lang and Marvel's Mary Jane. She made her first appearance in SpiderBoy issue number 1, Big Trouble, in April 1996. MJ, an aspiring model, underwent a dramatic shift in her life when she was exposed to radiation from a peculiar meteorite, resulting in a profound alteration of her DNA. This transformation endowed her with the ability to mimic the powers of insects and arachnids, compelling her to embrace the path of a superheroine as the Insect Queen. Shortly after embarking on her crime-fighting endeavors, a blind date arranged by her parents' acquaintance introduced her to SpiderBoy, leading to a deep connection between the adventurous Mary Jane and the spirited superhero. They became engaged, but their relationship inadvertently gave rise to a rival known as Arianella. SpiderBoy 2099 affirmed that marrying the Insect Queen forever changed SpiderBoy's life. In a potential future timeline, the Insect Queen assumed the role of Spider-Lass's mother, solidifying her heroic legacy. Insect Queen possesses an extraordinary ability to mimic the physical attributes of insects and certain arachnids, showcasing a remarkable range of powers. Emulating a hornet, she sprouts insect-like wings for flight and can unleash bioelectric stings as formidable weapons. Channeling the abilities of a bombardier beetle grants her heightened strength and the capacity to emit corrosive chemicals for defense. Additionally, she taps into the powers of a spider, manifesting extra spider legs for wall crawling and spinning intricate webs. Insect Queen also possesses a limited form of telepathy, allowing her to communicate with and control insects, utilizing them as allies or carrying out her commands. Ferro Man. Piotr Rasputin, aka Ferro Man, is an amalgam of DC Comics Ferro Lad and Marvel Comics Colossus. He debuted in X-Patrol number 1, Doomed, in April 1996. Piotr and his twin brother Alexei found solace in their bond with each other. They had a challenging dynamic with their mother, who harbored resentment towards them due to their disfigured faces. Meanwhile, their sister Amaya basked in her mother's love. When an imminent threat threatened Alexei's life, Piotr sprang into action, undergoing a remarkable transformation that turned his body into living metal. By assuming this new form, Piotr managed to avert the collision and protect his brother. This life-altering event brought to light Piotr's metamutant abilities. Alexei, consumed by envy, distanced himself from his twin and left Piotr feeling isolated. However, fate had other plans for Piotr when he caught the attention of Niles Cable, who extended an invitation to join the X-Patrol, a team of extraordinary individuals. Embracing this opportunity, Piotr embarked on a new chapter as a member of the X-Patrol, ready to utilize his unique powers for the greater good. In his metal form, Ferro is endowed with an indestructible body and super strength and stamina. He's an unstoppable force while fighting his adversaries and possesses healing abilities. Jimmy Yorick. Jimmy Yorick is an amalgam of DC's Jimmy Olsen and Marvel's Ben Yorick. He made his first appearance in Assassins issue number 1, Political Suicide, in April 1996. Jimmy Yorick, a reporter working across television and newspapers, dedicated himself to documenting the actions of Big Question, the mayor of New Gotham City. Yorick persistently and critically confronted the mayor, becoming a constant source of irritation. On a significant night, Yorick delivered a televised editorial targeting the mayor, once again raising doubts about the appropriateness of a convicted criminal holding public office in New Gotham City. He also reported on rumors that painted the mayor as a mere puppet under the control of Dr. Strange Fate. Later, Yorick received a phone call from Cat's Eye, who offered an exclusive story about the mayor. Intrigued yet skeptical about the source's reliability, Yorick agreed to investigate. Traveling by helicopter to the Arkham Tower, the mayor's residence, Yorick captured startling photographs of Big Question, hanging upside down and injured. Intent on profiting from these images, he planned to sell them to J. Jonah White, resulting in front-page coverage by the Gotham Bugle that exposed the mayor as a subject of ridicule and led to the downfall of the Question's reputation. While Jimmy doesn't have any superpowers, he makes up for it with his prowess as a journalist and his courage to stand by the truth against all odds. Nuke. Bane Simpson, aka Nuke, is an amalgam of DC's Bane and Marvel's Nuke. He was created by Chuck Dixon and Carrie Nord and made his debut in Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., issue number 1 in April 1996. Growing up within the oppressive walls of the Hydra stronghold known as Santa Prisca, Bane Simpson underwent a grueling upbringing that shaped him into a highly skilled and deadly assassin. Recognizing his cold and soulless nature, Green Skull, the Supreme Hydra, handpicked Simpson as the perfect candidate for an experimental super steroid called Venom. He took on the moniker Nuke. With venom injectors adorning his wrists, Nuke acquired the ability to artificially enhance his speed and strength, turning him into an unstoppable force of destruction. Consumed by envy toward Bruce Wayne, who seemed to possess everything Nuke longed for, he nurtured a deep-seated hatred and vowed to personally annihilate Bruce Wayne using his bare hands. Later, when he confronted an injured Bruce Wayne, he began gloating about how Bruce had no one left to save him, just like his parents. An enraged Bruce attacked Nuke and caused his wrist-mounted venom injector to malfunction, overdosing Nuke with venom and causing his heart to explode, presumably killing him. Nuke was already a skilled fighter, a ruthless killer, and a trained assassin. To add to it, the venom enhanced all of his capabilities, endowing him with super speed, super strength, and agility, transforming him into an unstoppable force. Madame Cat. Selena Luthor, aka Madame Cat, is an amalgam of DC's Catwoman and Marvel's Madame Hydra. She made her debut in Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., issue number 1, Mission: Destroy Hydra, in April 1996. Selena Luthor, the daughter of Green Skull, aka Lex Luthor and Lois Lane, had a turbulent upbringing. Lois, aware of her father's dangerous influence, did everything she could to shield Selena from following in his footsteps as a terrorist and criminal. Unfortunately, Green Skull took matters into his own hands, killing Lois and kidnapping Selena. Raised within Hydra, Selena was indoctrinated to become one of their agents. Unbeknownst to Green Skull, Selena nurtured deep-seated resentment and an unyielding desire to avenge her mother's death at her father's hands. Her chance for retribution came during a S.H.I.E.L.D. operation led by Bruce Wayne against a Hydra stronghold. In the midst of the chaotic battle, Selena appeared to successfully eliminate her father, only to discover later that she'd actually killed a decoy. Believing her mission accomplished and her mother's memory vindicated, Selena seized control of Hydra. She had a romantic affair with Anthony Stark for a short period. Selena is a master of hand-to-hand combat, displaying unrivaled skill and precision in close-quarters engagements. Her agility and speed make her a formidable adversary, anticipating and countering her opponent's actions with remarkable efficiency. In addition to her combat prowess, Selena is an expert marksman, wielding various firearms with uncanny accuracy and finesse. Her signature weapon, the Whip, showcases her exceptional proficiency as she utilizes it for offense, navigation, and disarming foes. With fluid movements and grace, Selena can strike from a distance and snare her enemies and maintain control over the battlefield. The Beastling. Beastling is an amalgam of DC's Beast Boy and Marvel's Beast. He debuted in X-Patrol number 1, Doomed, in April 1996. During his teenage years, Hank Logan embarked on a safari expedition in Africa, where he contracted a rare and debilitating disease. With the help of his parents, Hank received a curative treatment, but the process unleashed vivid fever dreams portraying disturbing mutations. Eventually, the antidote successfully eradicated the virus, but Hank underwent a transformative experience and emerged as Beastling. Despite his altered appearance, Beastling found acceptance within the X-Patrol and remained dedicated to protecting New York City. In the early days of the team, he engaged in playful flirtation with Shatter Starfire, providing her with amusement. As time passed, Beastling grew more committed to his role and responsibilities within the team. Later, Beastling developed deep feelings for Terra X, only to later uncover her betrayal of the X-Patrol to X-Stroke, the Eliminator. When Terra X was resurrected by Brother Brood, Beastling found himself among her primary targets, posing a significant threat to his safety and well-being. Beastling excels in speed, reflexes, agility, dexterity, coordination, balance, and endurance. He performs astonishing contortions, aerial maneuvers, and ambidextrous tasks. His claw-like nails and fang-like teeth aid in scaling surfaces and emitting pheromones that attract women. With powerful limbs, he executes remarkable leaps and bursts of speed. As a shapeshifter, Beastling assumes monstrous forms that he sees in his dreams while retaining intellect, memories, and communication skills. His green skin, hair, and eyes remain consistent across transformations. This shape-shifting enables him to modify his body mass, mimicking larger and heavier creatures. Baron Zero. Colonel Baron Wolfgang von Struckers, aka Baron Zero, is an amalgam of DC's Mr. Freeze and Marvel's Baron Zemo. He made his debut in Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. issue number 1, Mission Destroy Hydra, in April 1996. The Baron's journey began during the waning days of World War II, where he and the Green Skull managed to flee from the crumbling Nazi Empire. Together, they established Hydra, a notorious terrorist organization dedicated to realizing the Nazis' world domination agenda. In his quest for enhanced abilities, the Baron subjected himself to experimental chemical treatments, resulting in the acquisition of powers to generate intense cold. However, a severe limitation arose as he discovered his vulnerability to temperatures above freezing, necessitating the use of a specialized suit to maintain sub-zero temperatures. Embracing his new persona, Wolfgang assumed the mantle of the menacing Baron Zero. Baron Zero possesses an extraordinary command over ice and snow, enabling him to manipulate freezing temperatures, create ice constructs, and unleash devastating icy blasts with a mere thought. He can freeze opponents, immobilize them with icy barriers, and create treacherous icy terrains to gain the upper hand in combat. Beyond his icy powers, Baron Zero's connection to his suit goes beyond temperature control. A battle with the super soldier led to a permanent bond, granting him protection and augmenting his physical abilities. With heightened strength, he excels in hand-to-hand combat and outmatches adversaries with sheer force. Combining his augmented strength and sharp intellect, Baron Zero emerges as a formidable adversary and a master tactician, fiercely advancing Hydra's sinister agenda. The Punisher. Trevor Castiglione, aka Trevor Castle, aka The Punisher, is an amalgam of DC's Steve Trevor and Marvel's Punisher. He made his first appearance in Bullets and Bracelets issue number 1, Final Thrust. After serving with bravery and distinction for 5 years in the Vietnam War, Castle, a former captain in the United States Marine Corps, received multiple accolades, including 2 Bronze Stars, 2 Silver Stars, and 4 Purple Hearts. Tragedy struck when Castle's wife and children were mercilessly killed by the Mafia, igniting a deep-seated desire for vengeance within him. He became the Punisher, a one-man vendetta against the mob and mafia, punishing them for their crime and ending their sorry life. Left critically wounded, Castle was discovered on the verge of death by Diana Prince, who compassionately nursed him back to health. Castle and Diana fell in love, eventually tied the knot, and became parents to a son named Ryan. However, their happiness was short-lived as they faced marital difficulties and went their separate ways. Their paths crossed once again when their son was abducted by the minions of the formidable Thanoside, forcing them to unite and confront a common enemy. Although lacking superhuman abilities, Castle possesses remarkable physical strength, athleticism, and the skills of a seasoned soldier. His expertise in warfare tactics is unrivaled, and he fearlessly confronts both criminal organizations and formidable adversaries like the parademons from Apocalypse. Castle's unwavering determination and indomitable spirit allow him to face overwhelming odds with courage. In his quest to combat evil, he even utilizes powerful tools such as Orion's helmet and jetpack, enabling him to engage in an epic battle against the formidable Thanoside. Princess Diana of Themyscira. Although a major character in the Amalgam universe, Princess Diana wasn't amalgamated with any other character. She made her debut in Bullets and Bracelets issue number 1, Final Thrust. Diana, the daughter of Hippolyta, grew up on the secluded paradise island of Themyscira. However, her curiosity and desire to explore the world of man led her to leave her family and her adopted sister, Aurora, behind. She embarked on a journey that took her to various places, including working for the King of Wakanda, who bestowed upon her the gift of adamantium bracelets. Eventually, Diana established her own business, Diana Prince, freelance in the United States. During her adventures, Diana crossed paths with Trevor Castle, a tough and experienced Marine who had lost his wife. They formed a deep connection and entered into a marriage. Tragedy struck when their infant son Ryan was kidnapped, causing both Diana and Trevor to carry the weight of grief and guilt, blaming themselves for their inability to protect him. However, their paths converged once again when Monarch, a powerful time traveler, brought Diana and Trevor together for a shared purpose. They were united to confront the formidable threat of Thanoside, embarking on a mission that tested their determination and resilience as they fought against overwhelming odds. Diana, with her divine empowerment, possesses superhuman strength, speed, and durability, making her an unstoppable force. She's a master of hand-to-hand combat, capable of defeating any opponent with her skill and agility. Diana's proficiency in archery allows her to strike with deadly precision, whether up close or from a distance. Her iconic adamantium bracelets enhance her combat prowess, deflecting projectiles and acting as shields. With these incredible abilities and formidable weapons, Diana stands as a symbol of resilience and justice. Big Titania. Big Titania is an amalgam of DC's Big Barda and Marvel's Titania. She made her debut in Bullets and Bracelets issue number 1, Final Thrust. Big Titania, the commander of Thanoside's female Furies, initially formed a close bond with Diana Prince, aka Freelance, and briefly operated as a hero. However, tragedy struck Titania when Freelance couldn't save Mr. Immortal, the man she loved. The heartbroken Titania reverted to her villainous ways, attempting to betray Freelance to Thanoside. When Diana Prince arrived on Apocalypse in search of her son Ryan, she was attacked by Titania. Diana discovered that after the secret crisis, Big Titania's rage over Mr. Immortal's death led her to join the female Furies of of Granny Harkness. Though Titania initially fought Diana, she realized her allegiance was to the wrong side. When Punisher arrived to rescue Diana with the power of Orion, Titania seized the opportunity to rebel against the Furies. Thanoside intervened, teleporting all the combatants away, including Big Titania and Kanto, Thanoside's top assassin, who was revealed as Diana and Punisher's time-traveling son. Later, Titania and Kanto sought refuge in New Asgard under the care of Highfather Odin. Titania possesses extraordinary super strength, effortlessly overpowering her adversaries and delivering devastating blows. Her remarkable super stamina allows her to engage in prolonged battles without tiring, while her agility and reflexes make her a formidable and agile combatant. With her invulnerability, Titania can withstand powerful attacks and emerge unscathed. Granny Harkness. Granny Harkness is an amalgam of DC's Granny Goodness and Marvel's Agatha Harkness. She made her debut in Bullets and Bracelets issue number 1, Final Thrust. Granny was the cunning and feared leader of the female Furies in the treacherous realm of Apocalypse. With an iron will and a relentless dedication to their cause, she subjected Bernadette, Lashina, Mad Harriet, and Stomper to a grueling regime of torturous training, forging them into powerful assets of the Furies. Later, Big Titania joined their ranks, adding to the team's formidable strength. Under the watchful eyes of Thanoside, Granny was entrusted with a crucial mission, the protection and guardianship of Ryan, the young son of Diana Prince and Trevor Castle, whom Thanoside abducted and brought to Apocalypse. However, Granny Harkness played a pivotal role. In the final fight with Diana and Trevor, she seized Ryan in her strong grasp, lifting him high into the air. The ominous Omega beam emitted from Thanoside's eyes and struck Ryan, propelling him back through time, destined to be raised as Thanoside's own assassin son, Kanto. As such, Granny played a pivotal role in the safekeeping of Ryan and his growing up, as Kanto, who was also presumably trained by her. Granny Harkness is a cruel dictator. When she dons her formidable Apocalypsean armor, it grants her enhanced strength, durability, and protection. Her Apocalypsean staff emits devastating blasts of energy, commanding fear and awe as an immortal deity. Granny Harkness is an indelible figure in cosmic amalgam mythology, forever etched in the annals of divine power. Goliath. Goliath is an amalgam of DC's Green Arrow and Marvel's Goliath. He made his debut in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. Oliver Queen underwent a transformative journey enabled by Blue Jacket, a member of Project Cadmus. With his help, Oliver gained extraordinary powers. Another key figure in his evolution was Hank Pym, a brilliant scientist affiliated with the Cadmus Project, who played a crucial role in developing a growth serum that enhanced Oliver's abilities. Throughout his heroic endeavors, Oliver has displayed unwavering loyalty to the Judgment League Avengers, standing by their side through thick and thin. As a valued member of the team, he adopted the moniker Goliath, symbolizing his formidable presence and unwavering commitment to justice. While fighting crime, Oliver's heart found solace in a romantic relationship with Canary, a fellow hero. However, their love story faced an emotional crossroad as Canary found herself torn between Oliver and Hawkeye, a skilled archer who captured her affections. Goliath can alter his size, growing or shrinking as needed, granting him agility and stealth. His superhuman durability allows him to endure powerful blows, while his incredible strength delivers devastating punches and the ability to lift heavy objects effortlessly. With super leaping, he covers vast distances, surprising foes with agility and speed. As a skilled archer, Goliath's unparalleled accuracy neutralizes threats from afar, and his boxing skills make him formidable in close combat. Goliath's versatile abilities ensure justice prevails in the face of adversity. Hawkeye. Clinton Archer, aka Hawkeye, is an amalgam of DC's Green Arrow 2 and Marvel's Hawkeye. He made his debut in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. Hawkeye honed his extraordinary archery skills through rigorous training at a Tibetan monastery. His mastery in this discipline propelled him to become a highly esteemed member of the Judgment League Avengers. During that period, he carried a deep romantic affection for his teammate Canary, while she found herself torn between Clint and Goliath. Later revelations brought to light Hawkeye's instrumental role in the development of the crossbow utilized by the cunning super spy, Huntress. During their time together, Hawkeye nurtured romantic sentiments, genuinely believing in the reciprocity of their connection. Unfortunately, it became evident that Huntress manipulatively exploited their bond solely for the purpose of obtaining a superior weapon. Hawkeye possesses a diverse skill set that includes the adept use of gadgets to augment his combat prowess. Through the practice of meditation, he attains a state of mental clarity and focus, elevating his abilities as both a marksman and warrior. His proficiency in martial arts seamlessly complements his archery skills, granting him the capability to engage in close-quarters combat with remarkable precision and agility. When it comes to long-range combat, Hawkeye's exceptional archery skills set him apart, enabling him to strike his targets with unparalleled accuracy, making him a formidable force on the battlefield. Angel Hawk. Warren Hall, aka Angel Hawk, is an amalgam of DC's Hawkman and Marvel's Angel. He made his debut in JLX issue number 1, A League of Their Own, in April 1996. Angel Hawk harbored a hidden secret about his metamutant heritage. To protect his origins, he claimed that his feathered wings and the power of flight were of extraterrestrial origin. Despite this, he became a member of the renowned superhero team, the Judgment League Avengers. However, when his metamutant teammates decided to depart from the team and form their own group called the JLX, Warren, in secret, collaborated with their leader, Mr. X, to provide assistance and support. During his heroic endeavors, Angel Hawk rescued Shiera Gibney from a dangerous faction of metamutant haters. His acts of bravery would indirectly inspire Shiera's subsequent transformation into the superhero known as Wild Hawk. Eventually, Angel Hawk made the decision to reveal his true metamutant identity and openly joined forces with Mr. X and the JLX. Angel Hawk faced a heart-wrenching betrayal from his once closest friend, Lord Maxwell Hodge. This act of treachery resulted in a catastrophic accident that caused Angel Hawk to lose his wings. Deprived of his metamutant wings, Warren had no choice but to adapt to a grounded existence, navigating the world on foot like an ordinary individual. Angel Hawk possesses metamutant wings, granting him the power of flight, allowing agile engagement from advantageous positions. He excels in hand-to-hand combat, honed through rigorous training and martial arts expertise. In battles against formidable foes, Angel Hawk wields a spiked mace, dealing devastating blows. His heroic ensemble is completed by a war helmet, symbolizing his identity and offering protective gear, reinforcing his unwavering commitment to fight for justice. The Guardian Angel. The Guardian Angel is an amalgam of DC's Guardian and Marvel's Angel. He made his debut in SpiderBoy issue number 1, Big Trouble, in April 1996. In the 1940s, Dr. Tom Harper, a billionaire, drew inspiration from the adventures of Super Soldier and devoted his resources to training and creating the Guardian Angel persona, complete with a distinctive costume and weapons. However, following the conclusion of World War II, Tom decided to retire from his superheroic endeavors and redirect his efforts toward fostering the next generation of heroes through the establishment of Project Cadmus. A dangerous encounter ensued when Bizarnage, unleashed by Professor Richards, singled out Harper as its target. The symbiote sought to merge with him, aiming to seize control over Cadmus as the ultimate authority. Fortunately, SpiderBoy stepped in, utilizing his web shooter to activate a button that opened the door to one of Cadmus's energy containment cells. This ingenious tactic enticed Bizarnage into a trap, resulting in the symbiote being drawn into the cell and securely confined, thus sparing Harper from the malicious symbiosis. In his youth, Tom Harper demonstrated remarkable skill in close-quarters combat, exhibiting the physical prowess of an athlete competing at the Olympic level. His abilities encompassed exceptional agility, strength, endurance, and impressive reaction time. Assuming the mantle of the Guardian Angel, he wielded the Badge of Honor, a durable golden shield crafted in the shape of a police badge, adorned with a wing symbol as its distinctive emblem. Elastigirl. Janet Van Dyne is an amalgam of DC's Elastigirl and Marvel's Domino and Wasp. She made her debut in X-Patrol issue number 1, Doomed, in April 1996. In her early years, Janet was known as Domino and enjoyed great success at the Monte Carlo casino, turning a modest inheritance into a vast fortune by taking calculated risks. Seeking greater thrills, she embarked on a self-financed expedition, but her destiny took a tragic turn when she plummeted off a cliff into a cloud of volcanic gases, triggering her metamutant abilities. Subsequently, Janet was approached by Niles Cable, who implored her to join the X-Patrol in a bid to save their shared future. Embracing the opportunity, she adopted the mantle of Elastigirl and joined Niles' team. Subsequently, she also found herself developing deep affection for Niles. In due course, Elastigirl assumed the role of team leader when Niles was captured by the villainous Brother Brood. During a daring rescue mission, she incapacitated the traitorous Terra X by inflicting internal damage to the turncoat's ear canal, while at a miniature size, effectively neutralizing the threat from within. Janet possesses the prowess of controlled bone growth, elasticity, and size manipulation, granting her unmatched flexibility and adaptability in combat situations. Beyond her remarkable powers, Janet's wealth, earned through her gambling prowess, makes her insanely rich, affording her access to state-of-the-art technology and resources. With her natural leadership qualities, she often takes charge of the team, guiding her fellow superheroes with wisdom and strategic thinking. She also presumably had the powers of probability manipulation while she operated as Domino. Cybercroc. Waylon Burr, aka Cybercroc, is an amalgam of DC's Killer Croc and Marvel's Cyber. He made his first appearance in Dark Claw Adventures issue number 1, Face to Face, in June 1997. Waylon possessed a terrifying reptilian appearance and a dark history as a cannibalistic serial killer. His menacing presence made him one of the initial foes that Dark Claw had to confront. However, Waylon's reign of terror came to an end when he was defeated by Dark Claw and apprehended and taken into the custody of the notorious Weapon X project. Within the confines of the Weapon X facility, Waylon underwent a harrowing transformation. The project scientists subjected him to a radical procedure that involved grafting adamantium onto his skin and claws, bestowing him with enhanced strength, durability, and deadly weapons. Embracing his new identity as the Cybercroc, Waylon's singular objective became the pursuit pursuit of vengeance against his former nemesis, Darkclaw. Fueled by an unyielding thirst for retribution, he relentlessly seeks to settle the score and ensure that his archenemy suffers the consequences of their past encounters. With the adamantium enhancements, he possesses a lethal set of adamantium claws, capable of slicing through almost anything that stands in his way. His animal-like senses add to his formidable arsenal, granting him heightened awareness and tracking abilities, making it nearly impossible to elude his relentless pursuit. With his savage instincts and a thirst for bloodshed, Cybercroc strikes fear into the hearts of his victims, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. Sergeant Rock. Sergeant Joe Rock is the Amalgam Universe version of DC's Sergeant Rock. As far as Amalgam history goes, he doesn't have any other Amalgam counterpart. He made his first appearance in Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. issue number 1 in April 1996. Sergeant Joe Rock, an iconic figure within the Amalgam Comics universe, burst onto the scene in 1996 as a formidable agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. However, intriguing reports suggest that his initial appearance dates back to the pulp age, specifically in action and suspense comics, during the intense backdrop of World War I. This historical twist adds a layer of depth to Sergeant Rock's captivating narrative. Sergeant Joe Rock's exceptional leadership qualities were evident as he commanded the Howling Commandos during both World War I and World War II, standing shoulder to shoulder with the legendary Super Soldier. While harboring deep-seated animosity toward the Nazis, Sergeant Rock displayed an amiable and supportive nature toward his fellow soldiers, including the admirable Corporal Clark Kent. Upon the war's conclusion, Sergeant Rock briefly retreated from active duty before finding his place among the ranks of S.H.I.E.L.D., working alongside esteemed individuals such as Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark. With his unwavering commitment to duty and bravery, he stands as a steadfast symbol of valor. Possessing an unparalleled tactical acumen, Sergeant Rock strategizes with precision, accessing every situation and swiftly devising plans to overcome the most formidable adversaries. As a master of weapons, he wields an arsenal of expertise, effortlessly maneuvering through the chaos of battle and utilizing his extensive knowledge to wield each instrument of destruction with deadly precision. Sergeant Rock epitomizes the essence of a true soldier with all of these stellar prowess. Dr. Bongface. Dr. Bongface is an amalgam of DC's Scarface and Marvel's Dr. Bong. He debuted in Lobo the Duck #1, Fragging War, in June 1997. In a clash against Lobo the Duck, Dr. Bongface emerged as a formidable adversary. He was successful in capturing and overpowering Lobo's fellow bounty-hunting comrades, including Jonas Turnip, Billy the Millie, and Gamarola. With his acquisition of the powerful Crystal Rod of Doom, Dr. Bongface held the upper hand in that confrontation. However, Lobo later turned the tables on his nemesis by imprisoning Dr. Bongface within a Spanglite cage on the moon, leaving him trapped and unable to wreak havoc. Despite his captivity, Dr. Bongface's cunning henchmen initiated a plan to bring about the destruction of Manhattan. This paradoxical act aimed to grant Dr. Bongface the power necessary to break free from his lunar confinement. Their actions set in motion a perilous chain of events, threatening the very fabric of the city. Dr. Bongface doesn't have any powers of his own, however, he was aided by the Crystal Rod of Doom, which gave him the necessary power to defeat all the bounty hunters. The Human Lantern. Alan Hammond, aka the Human Lantern, is an amalgam of DC's Green Lantern, Alan Scott, and Marvel's Human Torch. He made his first appearance in Super Soldier, Man of War, issue #1 in June 1997. He was created by Mark Waid, Dave Gibbons, and Jimmy Palmiotti. Very little is known about the elusive Human Lantern, and the circumstances of his origins remain veiled in secrecy. He served as a vital member of the renowned All-Star Winners Squadron. Human Lantern possessed a truly extraordinary ability, an ethereal flame that engulfed his entire being. His resourcefulness knew no bounds, as he continuously explored innovative ways to harness his mystical fire, even employing it to bake cakes for his fellow squadron members. Regrettably, his culinary talents failed to elicit the same level of enthusiasm and admiration from his companions. Nevertheless, Human Lantern garnered the prestigious title of World War II's Beacon of Justice, firmly establishing his reputation as a symbol of righteousness during those tumultuous times. The Human Lantern possesses the extraordinary power of pyrokinesis, the ability to manipulate and control his fire. With his unique gift, he commands his ethereal flame that envelops his entire being, radiating a mesmerizing and otherworldly glow. This ethereal flame is not only a manifestation of his power, but also a symbol of his unwavering determination to fight for justice and protect the innocent. The Wiz. Robert Garrick, aka The Wiz, is an amalgam of DC's Flash J. Garrick and Marvel's Whizzer. He made his first appearance in Super Soldier, Man of War, issue #1 in June 1997. Robert's life took a fateful turn when a tragic lab accident resulted in him being fatally poisoned. His desperate situation seemed bleak, but little did he know that his scientist father had been working tirelessly on an antidote to save him. In a twist of fate, the antidote not only succeeded in healing Robert, but it also had an unexpected consequence. It infused him with extraordinary superhuman speed. With his newfound abilities, Robert embarked on a journey of self-discovery, learning to control his superhuman speed and harness it for the greater good. As he zipped through the streets, a blur of motion, he earned the name of the Wiz. The Wiz can travel at superhuman speed, which endows him with super strength and stamina. His power enables him to outrun the swiftest of adversaries and perform feats that defies the boundaries of human capability. Marvelous verdict. That completes our list of top 100 Amalgam characters, folks. The partnership between DC and Marvel happened again in 2003 when the JLA and Avengers banded together, but the Amalgam characters were nowhere to be seen. No one knows when they'll again jump back into the panels of DC and Marvel comics. But rest assured, whenever they do, we'll jump back too and bring you entirely new stories from the Amalgam universe. Until next time, fam. If you liked our video, please let us know in the comments section. Please like, share, and subscribe.